And welcome back to Bird Arena. For those of you who have been following all day, this may be deja vu for you. Ethan Graham joined by Shane Dazen. We are from AVW Presents Hockey, and we are here for the moment we've all been waiting for. Ohio versus Illinois, 2 versus 3 for a right to play Lindenwood in the CSCHL Championship. Here in Athens, Ohio, Ohio Bobcats hockey has really flourished over the last couple of years, due in large part to Coach Sean Hogan's arrival, his will to win, and his will to outcompete other people. Ohio's been so successful under his tenure, and they're looking to capture their first CSCHL title under Coach Hogan here this weekend. They're going to face a tough Illinois team, a team they're very familiar with, having played here at Bird Arena against the Fighting Illini just 2 weeks ago. And in that series, Ohio came back from a 3-2 deficit on Friday night to capture a 5-3 victory. Tom Picorni had 2 goals. Mike Palasic had 2 power play goals in efforts for Ohio to get the job done. Jimmy Thomas got the W and flipped the script on Saturday. Illinois came back and grinded out a 4-3 overtime win. David Heflin out with an injury. Jake Barnhart, his backup, stepped in very admirably, got the job done for Coach Nick Fabrini's squad. He is 8-0 on the season, .97 goals against, .934 save percentage. He's going to get the start here tonight for the Illini. Obviously, Jimmy Thomas back in net for the Bobcats, but we're going to break it down all for you here on the pregame show leading up to puck drop at 7:30. Ethan, we talked about the familiarity factor. They played just 2 weeks ago. Do you think that plays a role in their strategy against each other here tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned a lot of things in those last 2 games that both teams are going to be very aware of. I mean, if we're aware of them, Ohio's aware of them. I go back to that Saturday overtime loss. Ohio appeared to take the lead for good.
In that game 2 weeks ago, Jake Filo
scores a late goal. Illinois comes back and ties it, wins it in overtime ultimately. And I think a big part of that was Ohio was playing that overtime period with 4 defensemen. Tom McCourty took a game misconduct earlier in this game. He'll be back for this game, served a suspension. But Ohio absolutely gassed in overtime in that second Illinois game because they were playing with 4 defensemen in overtime. Very tired on the ice. Not going to be a factor here tonight. Tom McCourty moving up to forward. We'll see Cody Black step back on defense. Cody Black played very well. You talked to Jake Fila earlier this week, and Jake Fila, very high praise of Cody. He said he was the best defenseman on the road last weekend, the best defenseman on the ice for Ohio. So lineup looks a little bit different, but the message is the same. The names have just changed.
Tom Picorni, as you mentioned, back from that 2-game suspension. Also back in the lineup for the Bobcats this evening, defenseman Jake Houston, a 20-point man on the back end, making his return from a shoulder surgery. Kyle Craddock fills in on the 4th line at the center position. He only played in 18 games this year, went out with an abdominal injury. It's nice to see both those guys back in the lineup. The Bobcats almost fully healthy for the first time in a while. The only player missing tonight's action, number 13, Nick Gross, out with a broken hand. So Bobcats are going to go with 5 men on the blue line, 13 guys up front. Jimmy Thomas is going to get the start in net. It's going to be an interesting matchup. We saw a back-and-forth contest between these 2 teams the last time they played. A lot of penalties between the both sides. Ohio had 12 power play opportunities on the weekend, cashed in on 3 of those. So do you think that you're going to see a more physical contest like we saw last time? I know we talked about physicality not being as big of a factor earlier in today's contest with Lindenwood and Iowa State. Teams seem to really let the game speak for itself. They didn't get too hot-headed. They didn't let anything get out of hand. It was a back-and-forth action, but it was really clean. Do you think that you're going to see the same thing tonight? I know that Fiala said that both of these teams are similar. They like to hit. They like to engage up front. Do you expect them to attack eeach other here in the early going?
Yeah, I absolutely expect a physical game. I mean, last time these 2 teams met up, there was no shortness of physicality. A lot of the content of the first 2 games was penalties too between Ohio and Illinois. I mean, both teams found their way in the box. Palasic, like you mentioned, had a number of power play goals last week. I think he got 3 against Illinois total, 2 on
goals,
Friday,
yes.
1 on Saturday. Illinois able to take advantage of some power play opportunities as well. So ultimately, yes, physicality will be a factor in this game. Like we mentioned with the previous 2 games we've had the honor of calling this weekend, that physicality is going to be a part of these games. Of course, it always is, but it's going to be toned back a little bit. Expect a higher level of discipline. When we get into playoff hockey, you see teams take a lot less penalties, really be more careful with the puck, more careful and considerate of throwing the body around. But Ohio and Illinois, two teams that pride themselves on physical play, winning the neutral zone with the body. So yes, physicality will be a huge part of this game, but ultimately I give the edge to the team that's able to stay out of the box. Penalties were such a big part of the game the last time Illinois was in here 2 weekends ago. So whoever stays out of the box is definitely going to have a significant advantage of this game.
And we saw a slew of goals scored last time between the two sides, 15 on the weekend. And today's earlier game, it was a 2-1 decision for the Lindenwood Lions. And that was a reverse from what we saw on Friday night when Iowa State smacked Robert Morris 6-3. Do you think this is going to be a high-scoring affair here again tonight? Do you think this is going to be tighter like we saw early in the afternoon?
You know, it's really hard to say because last time these two teams played, there was a lot of goals, but these two teams have the goaltending to turn this into a really short, game in terms of goals. Jimmy Thomas, we know we've talked about it to great length here at Ohio University hockey. This guy is one of the best goalies in the ACHA, leads the ACHA in minutes, just tied the Bobcats' single-season shutout record with 6. Next one will break it. And Jake Barnhart, I mean, what a tough position to step into. Dave Heffling goes down 2 weekends ago. Barnhart comes in, goals against under 1, has not lost a game in regulation, 8-0-1 with the only loss coming in the shootout. Yes, there will probably be a lot of goals, but these teams have a number of guys who are very skilled, would be top 6 guys on almost every ACHA team, but both teams have the goalies to get it done as well, so it's really what's going to give first.
Jimmy Thomas, 25-8-2, 211 goals against, 922 save percentage. Those are certainly some great numbers for number 30, having an even better year than he did last year when he took Ohio all the way to the ACHA National Championship game. And he is going to have some help up front, as we mentioned, Houston back, guys like Grant Hazel, who have found a way to really become dynamic scorers late in the season. Hazel picked up the pace. He led all Bobcat defensemen with 27 points, 9 goals, 18 assists. Of course, Jake Fiala, you can't forget about him, 7 goals for Fiala too. We saw at times Fiala not be afraid to lead the rush, not be afraid to get down deep. I think that the Bobcats' dynamic ability to really shift guys in and out of the lineup, shift guys into different areas of the ice, and have success there is really going to play a factor here tonight. We talk about all the goal scoring for Ohio, 153 goals this year. That is tops in the CSCHL by a long shot. They definitely know how to score at will. Led up front by Gianni Evangelista, 45 points, leads all CSCHL scorer. Following right behind him, Tyler Harkins, the team leading goals this year, 17 for number 22. He doubled his total from last year when he scored 8. So really a major step forward for both G and Harkins, continuing to do the good things that you need to have happen for your team to win hockey games. But really, it has been a complete effort up and down this lineup for Ohio. 13 guys with 20-plus points. That is unprecedented. We looked at Robert Morris last night. They had 6. Ohio's got 13. So they really can find scoring from any area of the ice.
Yeah, Ohio scores in bunches, and it's kind of ironic because they don't have a lot of depth and quantity of people. But really, you go down the lineup, like you said, they have a lot of guys who can score. This team's averaging 4.25 goals a game, which is insane. Usually you see teams right around 3. Ohio well over 4. And it's kind of strange. Go back to Evangelisti. He was having the goal lead for so much of the season. You would have thought, it was a safe bet to pencil his name in number 1. But he's kind of faded off the last couple weeks, but making up for it in assists. 31 assists, the only Bobcat on this team with 30-plus assists. I mean, you can't say enough about this guy, Gianni Evangelista. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before he puts one in the back of the net.
Yeah, one of the nicest kids around. Yeah. Just such a very humble guy. He never takes what he does, too hard. He just likes to keep it light, likes to keep it easy, and I think that's a reason why he's had so much success this year. When you breed success, you'll find it, and Gianni Evangelista certainly has. But you look at the lineup here tonight as we preview the Bobcats, not a ton changing for Coach Hogan's squad. Some flip-flopping down low in the bottom 9, but other than that, things pretty much the way they always have been for the last couple of weeks. Up top, Gianni Evangelista, centering Timmy Thurnau on the top line. Mike Blasix filling out the first unit on the left side. Timmy Thurnau this year, 11 goals, 11 assists. His first year with the club, and he had a dandy.
Yeah, Timmy Thurnau really stepping into his game the second half of the season. I think there was some acclimation with him getting used to the college hockey style of play, but ever since we came back from winter break, Tim Thurnau has done a great job. Really great hands, great big body, and not afraid to use it, knows how to use his size. and is ultimately a great finisher too. Scored a number of goals here in the second half of the season.
He's just one of those 13 Bobcats with 20-plus points on the second line. Brian Lubin centers Matt Rudin and Tyler Harkins. This might be one of the most dynamic lines in the ACHA, maybe only behind that first line for the Bobcats. A ton of points between these three guys, 100 to be exact. 29 for Lubin, 29 for Rudin, 42 for Harkins. That's easy math. You got to like what you have there on the second.
Yeah, absolutely. I keep referring back to Matt Rudin, a guy who missed, almost the entire first half of the season. Just came back, really scoring at a great clip, about a point a game. But everyone on that line does a great job. I mean, Harkins, like you mentioned, leading this team in goals with 17. Ohio has a deep top six. They can put the puck in the back of the net, and they will show it tonight.
That's certainly a raucous atmosphere here as the band plays in the background. We have the marching 110 or members of that congregation here in the corner for tonight's action, and you certainly hope that this place fills up quickly because the Bobcats have a chance to work some magic in front of their hometown fans hosting the CSCHL tournament. Haven't won it since 2013. It would be nice to add another banner, but as we look at the lineups here, Zach Frank moves up from the fourth to the third line. He will center Gabe Lampron and Garrett Elmore, and you talk about that depth scoring. Maybe Elmore and Lampron are the two best examples of it for Ohio. Started on the third line, both of them moved up top, filled time on the second unit, are back on the third line this weekend, but certainly not without the effort up top for both Lampron and Elmore. They both have 20-plus points. Elmore with 11 goals and 9 assists in the regular season. Lampron with 9 goals and 13 assists. And this is Elmore's first year here, so you talk about Timmy Turneau having to adjust to Athens, adjust to college hockey. Elmore went through some of those same growing pains earlier, but he has really become a quality depth scorer for the Bobcats, finding the back of net with some regularity the last couple weeks. But I think that maybe no one has taken a bigger step forward this season than Gabe Lampron.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lampron, a guy, not really known for his hands at the beginning of the season, but at the end of the day, he's great with his positioning, finds a way to get to the front of that, the dirty areas, and like Timmy Turneau, a great finisher as well. And all of my eye on Zach Frank. I mean, he's a great skater. I think he's the most solid Bobcat in the face-off dot. A well-earned promotion for Zach Frank, number 21.
Zach Frank on the third line, filling out the fourth line. Kyle Craddock, as we mentioned, back in the lineup. He had an abdominal injury. We talked to his parents earlier in the line at Rinkside, and they were saying that he was working out with the Columbus Blue Jackets training staff, trying to rehab that. He's feeling a lot better. Still a little twitch, but you're never going to be 100% come playoff time. So it's nice to see him back in the lineup. That was his goal heading into the playoffs, is to make sure he was healthy for this tournament, and he did just that. He will center Drew Crandall on the right side, Garrett Jenkins on the left. At one point this season, Garrett Jenkins was without a point, the only Bobcat not to get on the score sheet, but he has had 5 in the last 2 or 3 weekends. He's really coming on strong there on the fourth line, playing forward.
Yeah, and Garrett, we saw him coming into the arena today, was real excited, real enthusiastic about getting on the ice. And, like a lot of these guys, really what you look for in a hockey season is progress. And I think Garrett Jenkins is a great example of a guy who's made a lot of progress this season. A lot of question marks about what position does he really play. Saw some time on forward, saw some time in defense. Has now settled in to that fourth line or extra forward type guy. So good stuff from Garrett Jenkins.
Garrett Jenkins, as we mentioned, on the left side on that fourth line. He will split some time with Tom Picorni, as we mentioned, moving up to the forward unit. Coach Hogan, coming off the suspension, wanted to try something different. He liked what he saw from Cody Black on the back end, wanted to let him continue that good work on the D-line. So Tom Picorni back from the suspension, up on the fourth line. He might get interspersed with some other guys to give them a rest here and there, but he had 9 points in the regular season, or 7 points in the regular season. 2 goals, 5 assists, including 2 goals against Illinois in that 5-3 victory. So he's had some success against the Illini to this point in the season. Certainly a guy to watch out for. Could be one of those sneaky players for the Bobcats, as you mentioned. Sometimes it's not guys like G, sometimes it's not guys like Harkins, but it is guys like Picorni who find the back of the net and give you those galvanizing wins. But as we look to the back line, Jake Houston back in the lineup, penciled in up top on the first unit with Grant Hazel. A lot of offense between the two.
Yeah, probably Ohio's best possible offensive pair they can make with their available staff on defense. Jake Houston, really strong skater, great power play presence. Same with Hazel. I mean, Hazel not as effective as a skater, but he has great size, the best shot on this Bobcats team, one of the best shots in all of the ACHA. Definitely keep an eye on him on the power play. Both those guys on the power play.
Yeah, Hazel has a howitzer. That's a fact.
Yeah.
You do not want to get in front of that one, and you do not want to feel the brunt of him crashing in on you along the boards either. He is a big body defenseman, loves to lay out the hits. And as we look to the second defensive unit, Jake Fiala, the senior captain for the Bobcats, has done so much for this program over the course of his tenure here in Athens, Ohio. Really the embodiment of the work ethic that Coach Hogan has really strived to instill in his player. Jake Fiala, you can't say enough about the guy, just a great guy to be around. He'll play with Cody Black. We saw, it's him sing number 18's praises after the Iowa State series last weekend. So he'll get to work with him again. We'll see how they mesh together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jake Fiala, can't say enough about the guy. A great culture guy to have around. Going through some injury problems second half of the year back in January, but fully healthy now. A guy who's also an offensive presence, not afraid to step in the rush, and neither will Cody.
23 points on the back end for Fiala. A couple power play goals, too. He will get a shot on the man advantage if Ohio gets up in the power play category. So we'll see what happens with him as that develops. But to round that out, Sean Bayard, you can't forget about him. Number 14, first year in Athens, and he has made quite a name for himself.
Yeah, no shyness exhibited from Sean Bayard. Not afraid to throw the body around and get right in the middle of things. Good guy. You need guys like Sean Bayard, really, who are grinders, not afraid to win those puck battles.
Guy likes to keep it loose, too. One of the biggest laughers there in the locker room.
Yeah.
A lot of people love to get it going with Sean Bayard. But all those guys will be in front of Thomas, as we mentioned, number 30, making the start again, his ACHA leading 35th start of the season. Quite a ride for Jimmy Thomas. You can't take him out. He's just so effective.
Yeah, I can't say enough about this guy. I got to interview him earlier in the week, talked a little bit about his beginnings of the game of hockey. Very passionate about the game. Like you said, played the most minutes, broke the shutout record, tied the shutout record, has a chance to break it, I should say. Can't say enough about Jimmy Thomas. He is the engine that makes this Bobcats hockey team go.
Jimmy Thomas in net for Ohio, backing him up. Mason Coster, Jackson Chilberg, both dressing. Both of them saw a bit of time in the regular season, not called upon too much, but it's always nice to have guys like Coster and Chilberg there in relief, especially a guy like Coster, a big-bodied goaltender, somebody who can really, stretch the crease and cover a lot of ground. So should something calamitous happen to Thomas, the Bobcats and Coach Hogan will be in good hands. We're going to take a quick commercial break. On the other side, we will preview Illinois' lineup and the keys to the game and players to watch here on AVW Presents Hockey.
Hockey League tournament right here. And right now, it's time to welcome to the ice your Ohio
And we are back here, folks. We're going to send it down to the ice for the starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem. the University of Illinois to Athens. The Illinois hockey team is here to take on your number 4 nationally ranked Ohio Bobcats. Let's find out who they are. Starting off on defense for Illinois, number 2, Captain Joseph Rittendale. Also at defense, number 27, Joe Nolan. At left wing, number 26, Thomas Kolaz. At right wing, number 44, Luke Forfar. At center, number 24, Robert Ernsting. And in goal, number 1, Jake Barnhart. The University of Illinois hockey team is coached by Nick Fabrini. And now the starting lineups of your Ohio University Bobcats. At left defense from Hinckley, Ohio, your captain, number 17, Jake Fiala. At right defense from Wexford, Pennsylvania, number 18, Cody Black. At left wing from Parma, Ohio, assistant captain number 28, Mike Polasics. At right wing from Westchester, Ohio, number 16, Jimmy Turner. At center from Dublin, Ohio, number 7, Johnny Evangelisti. And in goal from Waterville, Ohio, number 30, Jimmy Thomas. Your 60th anniversary season Bob Dogs are coached by Sean Hogan with assistant coaches Michael Harris and The Hand. We invite you to direct your attention to the south end of the arena for the playing of the national anthem by the Pep 110. And there you have it, folks. Lineup's done. Anthem has been sung, and we are getting ready to start here at Bird Arena. As promised, we're going to preview Illinois very quickly. 22-8-2, on the year, 5-6-1 in the CSCHL. Led up front by forward James McGing, 32 points this season, 156 for his career. He is a prolific scorer.
Yeah, McGing has quite the scoring pedigree, great hands, great shot. Expect him to be heavily involved in the action tonight for Illinois.
Other guys to watch out for: Bobby Ernsting, 12 goals, 17 assists on the year. Another one, Drew Richter, had 13 and 14 for 27 points. Just one of a number of guys for Illinois who eclipsed 20 points on the season. Another one, Eric Cruikshank, number 15. 10 goals, 12 assists on the season. They will all be in front of Joey Rittendale, the captain for the Illini, number 2, who had a good year himself, 8 goals, 9 assists. Jake Barnhart in net for the Illini, 8-0 on the season, a .97 goals against. And he's going to have a game eerily similar to what he had last time if Illinois wants to upset Ohio here and play Lindenwood tomorrow night. But we are underway at Bird Arena. Puck in the Illini zone to start action here. A packed house. This is a little bit more like what we're used to seeing here at Bird Arena.
Gee, you think? There's probably less than 100 people here for the first 2 games. Nothing wrong with that, though. We still had a fun time calling it, but this is more like it. Great atmosphere in here tonight.
Ran into some Lindenwood parents. Ran into some Bobby Moe parents yesterday. Good to see everybody coming and traveling down to Athens to support their respective clubs. But at the end of the day, you weren't exactly going to expect a packed house for either one of those matchups. It would have been a shame if the same happened here tonight for the Bobcats, but that is not the case. People are in the stands. They're loud. The Marching 110 is in the right corner. It is going to be a fun one here tonight.
Attendance never been a problem here at OSINC Bird Arena. The 60th anniversary as Hazel fires that one out of play. Brian Lubin taking this face-off for Ohio. Brian Lubin, great offensive and defensive for him. This quick shot.
Quick shot from Harkins off the draw. Talk about the offensive prowess of Lubin this year. 29 points for the Bobcats second-line center. 11 goals, 18 assists. And he had himself a tremendous season out here with Rudin and Harkins. As we mentioned, this line combined for 100 points on the season. And they can get scoring from all areas of the ice. We've seen Harkins go deep. We've seen him go low. We've seen him score from behind the net. We've seen him score from below the goal line. So
always got to have an eye on number 22. Not the biggest guy, but has great hands in. He certainly earned it. Out here every day before practice, almost every day anyway, working on his stick work, working on his skating, working on something. Great work ethic, number 22 has. One of those culture guys for Ohio Bobcats hockey.
Out here is the Bobcats' fourth line. Kyle Craddock making his return to Bird Arena. Only played in 18 games during the regular season. Coach Hogan and his team is happy to have number 8 back. He won the face-off shot from the blue line. Barnhart was there to make the stop. Puck goes all the way down into Ohio's end. Jimmy Thomas watches from the right-hand corner as Tom Picorni races through the neutral zone, gets to it first, and keeps the play alive for the Bobcats, erasing the icing.
Yeah, Barnhart tried to tee that one up, a good play by Picorni to poke it.
Tipped out in front, and it comes to the crease. Barnhart falls on it for the whistle. Just over 2 minutes off the clock here as both sides start action in the first period. Tom Picorni, we talked about his offensive prowess over the last couple of weeks. 2 goals. The last time Illinois came to Southeastern Ohio, followed by a 2-game suspension. He's back in the lineup for the Bobcats, playing forward, and he's showcasing some of that offensive talent there early on as he speeded down to get that puck. Tom Picorni still out here with the fourth line. Making a play is number 4, getting it in to the Illini's end. Out the challenge, and Zach Frank takes the shot in the slot. Lampon could not pick up the rebound. Back out to the red line. Picorni engaging with number 7, Stephen Quinn, for Nick Fabrini's squad. Out here with John Moskaluk. Stick goes flying. It's a yard sale. And Frank picks up the loose twig and gets back involved in the play.
Puck being pressured along the boards here. Referee's finally going to blow it dead. I want to go back to Tom McCorney, like you said, making that transition from defenseman to forward. Ohio has a lot of guys who are more than capable of playing both ways, and that is not a bad problem to have. Guys with multiple skill sets makes life easier for your forwards, makes life easier for your defensemen if they have an offensive presence. So,
and it gives Coach Hogan a lot of options.
Yeah, definitely.
He's never down and out if a guy goes out of the lineup, if a guy isn't producing the way that maybe he's accustomed to. They've got a ton of different weapons that can be utilized in many different ways. Bobcat down on the ice. That is Garrett Elmore. Grant Stuve out with the puck. He flicks it over the blue line. Eric Crookshank engages Cody Black, and number 18 for the Hunter Green and White keeps his head about him and makes the play. We're going to get an icing here as that one skips down past the goal line of Jake Barnhart, coming back toward Jimmy Thomas. 2-0 early shot lead for the Bobcats. They're going to have to defend in the defensive zone here. Out for Ohio, that third line of Frank, Elmore, and Lampron. Cody Black and Grant Hazel on the defense.
It's quite the contrast in size between Black and Hazel. I never thought I'd see them playing on a deep pair this year.
Cody Black, one of those players that is very versatile, as Jimmy Thomas makes the save through traffic. Played forward for the majority of the season, did Black. He had quite a ride, putting up 21 points, only 3 goals on the season. A little bit less than he probably would have liked, but it didn't really matter because he played such a good defensive center position there on the bottom 9. He did exactly what Coach Hogan wanted him to do, be a tough guy to win faceoffs against, be a tough guy to work with against the boards. And he really did embody that character that Hogan has himself, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, great passer. 18 assists for Cody as well.
Out here is Palasic. He twists one to Evangelisti. He possesses. Up at the point for Houston. And number 11, back in familiar territory. Hasn't played in a few weeks. Talked to him earlier. He said he was happy to be back and he expected to do big things here tonight. That one kicks back out to the front and it goes into the back of the net. Ohio gets on the board. Not even 5 minutes into the contest, Timmy Turneau goes streaking. And Hollywood Sean Hogan is very happy about that one. 1-0 OU.
As he should be. Ohio just crashes the net there, finds a couple of rebounds. Timmy Turneau's the lucky guy. Finds the puck on the ends of the stick, slides it past Barnhart. Ohio out to a 1-0 lead. 4 minutes and 19 seconds into this game. Exactly the start they're looking for, Shane.
And that'll get this place rocking and rolling early on here. Timmy Turneau, his 12th goal of the year. 23rd point, Ohio. 1-0. We're going to get a whistle here. Icing by the Illini. Face-off coming back down Barnhart's way. Lubin out to take the draw for the Bobcats. Palasic and Houston with the assists on the third now goal. Mike Palasic had a great weekend against Illinois, getting in on the action early on here as well, as he gets the primary. And the Bobcats are in the zone once more. Lubin tries to bury that one. It kicked out to number 10 Stick off the shot by Bayarda from the point. Illinois tight in their own zone here early on, trying to get their backs off the wall, as Ohio has really put the pedal to the metal here in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, coming out really angry, really aggressive, knowing that the first 5 minutes of these games are extremely important. We see a lot of goals scored in the first couple minutes of Ohio's games, and that's a big one right there.
Up the elevator shaft, but still in play. Jimmy Thomas settles the puck in his crease for the whistle. Ohio's fourth line now out for Coach Hogan, countering for the Illini. Neil Novosel, he had a goal the last time the Illini came to town. Stephen Quinn on the right side. Number 17, John Moskaluk.
Yeah, Novosel had a really nice goal too, a great snipe off the stick of Neil. More than capable of great shot placement.
Jack Graham, Mark Condotti on the blue line for Nick Fabrini's Illini. Cody Black and Jake Fiala counter for the Bobcats. Kindati touch pass over to Graham, and that one goes out of play almost. Hits our PA announcer, Jake. He flexed himself there for a second.
Always got to keep the head on the swivel. Nice play by Jake, getting out of the way of that one. You mentioned Jake Houston getting the secondary assist on that Thurnau goal. Did not take Jake Houston long to find his way back onto the score sheet after coming back from that separated shoulder. Wouldn't expect anything less from number 11.
Novosel takes the feed over the blue line into Ohio zone. Dumped deep and played up by the Bobcats defense. Out to neutral ice and into the Illini's end as Graham flips that one to Moskaluk. Up to Kreutzschank and stolen by Black. Kreutzschank gets the puck once again, but Drew Crandall strips him of it and flips it out. Tom Picorni races into the corner, pressuring Rittendale, and both go down in a tumble. Kreutzschank comes out with the puck off the boards and back out to the red line. James McGing, as we mentioned, the leading scorer for the Illini, now on the ice. Number 13 tried to interrupt Grant Hazel's progression ahead, unable to do so. Icing on the play. 13:21 left in the first period. A quick-paced game here as we start action in this Saturday night contest. Illinois has registered 3 shots to this point, Ohio 4. And the difference has been that Timmy Thurnau goal.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Illinois is getting really great quality scoring chances. Only 3 shots early in this game, too early to really assess their play. But Ohio definitely getting the better scoring chances as that one goes out of play.
Jake Houston, maybe one of the best board players in the ACHA. He knows how to use that glass here at Bird Arena. He's done it so many times over the last 2 years. You see him work on it in practice all the time, and that one didn't go his way as it goes out of play, but he normally has a good go at getting that puck out.
Yeah, he definitely
using
does.
that plexiglass, yeah. Hazel misses the puck. In on it is number 26, Tom Kolaz. He got on the score sheet with an assist in the 4-3 overtime victory against the Bobcats last time out. Down on the ice with Garrett Elmore is Luke Forfar, and he took an air and stick to the face. Back up is Forfar. Speaking of that, Tyler Opilka catches a puck in the face mask area. Sean Bayard intercepts the Illini pass into the Ohio zone. Trying to walk Bayard is Ernsting, and Bobby Ernsting falls to his feet, stripped by Evangelisti. The Bobcats able to get it back out. Hugging the boards was number 7. He used his small frame to his advantage, was able to squeeze right by everybody.
Yeah, beautiful move by Ernsting. Illinois has a lot of guys who possess some great dekes, some great skill. No shortage of skill coming out of Champaign.
For Ohio, Evangelisti, Mike Palasics, and Timmy Thurnau out here. This line got a goal to start the action. Evangelisti with the shot over the head of Barnhart and off the back end. That one kicks back out to Fiala all the way down in Jimmy Thomas's neighborhood.
If you're Illinois, that is not the guy, Gianni Evangelisti, you want to be given that much time and space to. He'll finish that play eventually. Great shot placement Evangelisti has, and a great shot in general.
Both teams coming out with a ton of energy here. A little bit different look than what we saw with Lindenwood and Iowa State. They kind of felt each other out in the first period. It was a slow-paced game, and it picked up as action went forward. But the Bobcats and the Illini have both come out guns a-blazing here.
Yeah, we expected Ohio to come out with a lot of energy, as they always do here on home ice. A little extra motivation, as if they needed it to have an opportunity at a CSCHL championship on home ice.
Ohio lost to Lindenwood last year in overtime. It was a heartbreaker. They rebounded nicely to ride a hot Jimmy Thomas and some crucial scoring from several guys all the way to the ACHA National Championship, where they lost to Central Oklahoma. Looking to exact some revenge this weekend as they make their first steps toward that ACHA tournament in Columbus in a few weeks.
Yeah, Coach Sean Hogan talks about wanting to win 3 championships every season, the regular season, CSCHL championship, the tournament. in the national tournament. Ohio's already 1 for 3.
Matt Rudin sent that one to Barnhart, kicked out by the right leg of number 1. And Illinois gets it out of play there as number 15, Eric Cruikshank, worked it up ahead. James McGing took the puck and finds Cruikshank. Walking through the middle of the ice was Eric Cruikshank, and he falls to his feet. No penalty on the play as he has a word with Hazel on his way back to the bench. We talk about Ohio being 1 for 3 in that category. Split the CSCHL regular season title with the Lindenwood Lions. Both sides had 28 points on the season, although Ohio did garner more wins, 9-6-1 in the CSCHL.
Ultimately, the tournament's what matters, and Ohio, or Illinois for that matter, is going to have a chance to play the Lions tomorrow. Winner of this game taking on the Lions at 2 o'clock.
Heading back to the bench is Rudin and Lubin out here for Ohio, the 4th line of Craddock, Crandall, and Jenkins. And that one goes out of play for a whistle past the halfway point of the first period. Shot 6-3 in favor of Ohio. And that face-off comes down to the right of Jimmy Thomas.
Illinois not getting the shots they want, but they're doing a good job of limiting Ohio's shot. Ohio loves to pour the puck on the net from any angle, really ambush goaltenders with 40, 50, sometimes even 60 shots a game. So give Illinois a lot of credit for getting into lanes. And Ohio's doing the same too. Gianni Evangelisti had a nice play last shift, getting a stick on a puck and forcing it into the protective netting.
And that really has been Coach Hogan's mantra, put the puck on the net early and often. 37 shots for Ohio the last time these two teams met. We're only able to find the back of the net 3 times in those 37 attempts, but that's the kind of consistency you want as you look to really pepper Barnhart here tonight, the backup goaltender. Having a great season to this point, but he hasn't played as much as Jimmy Thomas. He hasn't played even as much as Heflin, so, at the end of the day, there may be a little bit of a rust factor. The more you work them, the better opportunity you're going to have to find the back of the net.
Yeah, exactly. Barnhart's a guy you're going to want to throw a lot of pucks his way and not let him get comfortable, because if he does, you're in for a long night. No regulation losses for Jake Barnhart, only that one shootout loss.
For his credit, a .950 save percentage for number 1. An astronomical number, a great number.
Absolutely.
For Nick Fabrini's backup goaltender. We talked about the strength of Ohio being able to rely on a Coster or a Chilberg if Thomas were to go down. Well, that's the same for Illinois, too. It's nice to have your plan B be solid like Barnhart has been. And he makes a save there as that puck kicks down low in the crease. In front of him for the screen was Rudin. And he denied number 27 out in front. Rudin heading back to the bench right now. Garrett Jenkins takes the puck, and he finds Lampron as he comes out from Coach Hogan's bench. Gabe Lampron had a great opportunity there in the middle of the ice. He rifled one off the boards hard.
Yeah, Gabe sure wants that one back. Barnhart went for the full-out sprawl. Lampron had an open net, couldn't find it on net.
9 goals on the season for Gabe Lampron, 22 points. We talked about him in the outset, having a career year for Coach Hogan's club. And Illinois enters Ohio's zone. Down low for the Illini, number 9. Chance Homer gets the puck back to Rittendale. Rittendale shot sails wide. Down low for the Illini, Drew Richter. And number 19, David Kellner.
You mentioned Rittendale. He's had a lot of success against Ohio this year. The game-winning goal the last time these two teams played, Joe Rittendale scored it in overtime for Illinois.
Joe Rittendale, not a very big guy, 5'10", 165. But he knows how to use his body. We really like to use that same type of reference for a guy like Tyler Harkins, a scrappy player, a smart player. The fans happy with that one as Jimmy Thomas makes the first save. That one kicked up high. Ohio safely recovers. Evangelisti going the other way. Opilka down low, trying to take away the lane to Pulisic. Evangelisti able to thread the seam, but he could not connect on the pass with number 28.
Yeah, right idea by Evangelisti. Couldn't have put that one in any better spot, but Pulisic's coming with a full set of steam. Couldn't slow up, put that one on net in time.
His first line looking good, and a fortuitous bounce for Evangelisti. A one-time opportunity by Pulisic streaking down the left side. That one goes high over Barnhart's right shoulder, but another good look for the Bobcats. They possess in the offensive zone. Houston dragged down by Quinn. Touch pass over to Evangelisti. Turning around with it was Hazel in the middle of the ice. That was a skill play there by Grant. We're normally used to seeing him wind up for the clap bomb. This time he decided to get a little fancy with it as he tried to finesse.
Yeah, the spinorama from Hazel, to be honest, I didn't know he had that one in his repertoire, but it's good to see.
Grant Hazel will surprise you. That is a fact. We found that out. A very interesting character. One of my favorite Bobcats to talk with during the week. He has always got some good insight.
Yeah, Grant's always willing to talk hockey, take time out of his day and talk to us.
We got a whistle here. We're 6:19 left in the first period. Shot 7-6 in favor of Ohio. Illinois able to put up 3 more since the last time we updated you guys about that. Face-off now in the Hunter green and white territory as Ernsting will take the draw for the Illini and Evangelisti will take the draw for the Bobcats. And Ohio wins the face-off, but Illinois takes the puck off the boards to the net. Jimmy Thomas with the first save, kicked out to the slot, and Ohio is able to dump it back into the neutral zone. Good opportunity there for the Illini. Houston and Grant Hazel on the defense there to answer the door for Jimmy Thomas as he was in a tight position, buried in his net. Lubin and the second line out here for Ohio now, and Lubin takes the puck and flies through the neutral zone. They're going to say Harkins was a step ahead of the play. We're going to get an offsides whistle, and that faceoff will come out ahead of the Illini blue line.
There's that speed from Brian Lubin that's utilized every game to create at least one scoring chance. Lubin, great in the faceoff dot, great offensive forward, and great speed as well. The guy's a great playmaker. Can't say enough about number 10 in his game this year. Really taking a huge step forward.
Won by the Bobcats. Spun around and backhanded off the boards by Fiala. They get the puck into the offensive zone. And it kicks back out, but not before Jake, the Snake, number 17, sends it back in.
Never a bad play to put it on.
Barnhart settles for Hammer and shot there by number 9, swallowed by Thomas in that OHIO area between the chest protector and his blocker and glove.
Jimmy Thomas so good at handling the high shots, whether that be with his glove or off his blocker. That one he just decides to inhale. Really consistent stuff from number 30, and that's a big reason, if not the biggest reason, that Ohio's number 4 in the country right now heading into this game.
Another tie-up at the dot. The Bobcats take the puck behind their net. Illinois able to get the puck on Thomas. And they have it in the corner now as Hammerin is able to spin off Fiala. He takes it up to the hash and turns it over to Craddock. Craddock showing some of that energy he has now that he's back in the lineup, finally healthy again, using his wheels to churn ahead for the Bobcats. Shot from the point. Rebound out to Crandall's stick, and Crandall working with it behind the net. He turns one way and goes the other. Picorni tried to wrap it around. It kicks up to the wall for Houston on the left side. Sent over to Black and down low again as Craddock and Crandall converge. And another shot and another save by Barnhart. He had a tough time finding that one. And he looked down and it was in the crease right by his pad, able to kick it back out to the wall.
A great play by the Illinois defender to just jam that puck out of the zone. I think he for sure saved the goal right there as we have icing on the ice. 4:10 remaining in this game. Shane Dazen and Ethan Graham here with you on day 2 of the CSCHL tournament. Ohio out to a 1-0 lead. The winner of this game takes on the Lindenwood Lions tomorrow at 2 p.m. start. Wherever you may be joining us, we want to thank you for spending your Saturday night with us. Truly a pleasure.
And that one goes into the stands, and a lucky fan is going to go home with a game puck. And that little guy wearing the Tyler Harkins replica jersey. You love to see it.
Very cool. I need to get me one of those. Maybe about 11 sizes too bigger, but very cool nonetheless.
I'd like to see you try to fit into that.
I don't know if it's possible. It might cover the upper half of my chest. It might be a crop top situation.
That would not be a pretty sight, folks. We're going to spare you there at home.
Yeah, it would not be good.
Bobcats take the face off and immediately send one Barnhart's way. Clap bomb there by number 23. Saved by Barnhart, and we're going to try that all over again.
Ohio's been going to that play more and more as the season's gone on, winning the faceoff and taking a quick shot. It's a good idea. I mean, if you can beat the goalie to his position, it's worth a shot.
Jenkins out here to take the draw. They tried it again, and the puck skirts through the legs of Lampron. Hazel touches it up, and we're going to get a whistle here. And what will this be for?
I don't know. Did you see why they blew the whistle? Maybe lost sight of the puck.
Sure, they having a word with Kroikshank, and it's going to be offsetting penalties to both Kroikshank and number 29 Garrett Jenkins. We're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey here with just under 4 minutes left in the game, or in the first period. Excuse me. Band out, playing their calling song in the corner. As we mentioned, a packed house here to see their Bobcats take on the Fighting Illini. Bobby Ernsting, Tyler Opilka, and James McGing up front for the Illini. Joey Caprio, who scored against the Bobcats last time the Illini were here as well, on the back end. Barnhart with a big save there on Hazel. Hazel takes the puck down low, lays a hit on McGing. Up with it now is Ernsting, walking through the neutral zone and into the slot was number 24. Hazel gets back and steals the puck from him and sends it back out of harm's way.
Here comes McGing just by himself, though. Got caught on a bad change.
Some nifty hands there by McGing trying to work around Houston. Credit Jake Houston for sticking with him. Bobcats out with the puck now. Rudin and Evangelisti trying to make some magic happen here as Matt Rudin sends that one into the glove of Barnhart. 53 seconds off the clock on the offsetting penalties. 3:06 left in the first period. Shots now 12-8 in favor of the Bobcats.
Yeah, textbook glove saved by Barnhart. Shane, we're working a double shift today, but I'll tell you who else is working a double shift. Cam McCambridge calling both games today on the ice. Tough job Cam has.
Cam's having himself quite a workout here today, moving all over the place. Tom Kolas walking over the blue line prematurely. We're going to get another whistle. Face-off out in the neutral zone. Luke Forfar to take it for the Illini. Brian Lubin to take it for the Bobcats, and Lubin promptly wins it to the boards. Picked up by Cody Black. Pressured by Forfar, and Forfar does steal the puck from number 18. Puts it on net, and the cage is knocked off its moorings. Flying in was Kolaz, and he may have been helped into the cage by number 17, Jake Fiella.
Yeah, Jake Fiella just trying to finish off a clean check on Kolaz, and the net, that pesky net on the south end, comes off its moorings once again. And stoppage of play, 45 seconds remaining on the offsetting penalties. 2:44 remaining in the first period. Ohio has a 1-0 lead and a 12-9 advantage on the shot clock.
As we approach the 8 o'clock hour here in Athens, we talked about that net in this side of the ice. Last year it was that side.
Yeah.
This year it's this side. I guess you can't really ever win, but
maybe next year we'll get them both figured out, huh?
that would be nice. That would be nice. Bobcats got a break there. They'll start things back up here. Tyler Harkins finds Lubin in the offensive zone. That one rattles around to the other side of the ice. Tyler Harkins picking it up in the neutral zone and makes a nice spinorama move as he walks the blue line and sends one into the netting.
Good play there by Joe Nolan to get his stick on that Tyler Harkins shot. It was certainly destined for Jake Barnhart. Both teams doing a really good job at getting in shooting lanes. We've seen a number of pucks be blocked and sent out of play. I would like to see the shot attempts for this period. I'm sure we're at least 40 between both of these teams. Both teams really making a strong effort to shoot as much as they can.
Timmy Thurnall scored with 15:41 on the clock in the first. Illinois has recovered from that point, playing a much tighter hockey game over the last 10 or 12 minutes. 1-0 for Ohio here with under 2 minutes to play in the first period. Jimmy Thomas sees Evangelisti take the puck from behind the goal line. Quinn steals it from him on the breakout. And Stephen Quinn sends one to Evangelisti. And Moskaluk crashed the net. We're not going to have any extracurriculars there as he gets safely out once more. Behind Jimmy Thomas is number 17, John Moskaluk. Back to Quinn, and he moves it up top to Opilka. Touched back to number 7. And Opilka takes it once more. Shot! Blocked out in front, off the boards behind the goal line. Sean Bayard shovels one to Houston, and the defense moves ahead. Mike Palasic takes the feed. A good move by Palasic to get around number 5, Joey Caprio. That one kicks free to center ice. The Bobcats retain as Fiala takes it and moves it to Lubin. Shot by number 10. Again blocked by Caprio.
Yeah, Caprio's been blocking all sorts of rubber in the first period. Really wearing the puck is Joey.
1 minute remaining in the period. Now 45 seconds as Cruikshank gives Rudin a shove. James McGing out here as well, number 13. Number 15, Eric Cruikshank, and number 25, Grant Stuve on the forward unit for the Illini. Rebound out front, Harkins down to one knee, could not tuck it. Thomas looks for the ice, and there will be none as it doesn't go behind the goal line. Cody Black picks it up in his own zone to the neutral zone now as Craddock flies in and makes a big hit on Rittendale. Rittendale gets tossed like a doll there by Craddock. Cody Black gets it low, but time will run out for both sides after 20. The Bobcats won, the Illini nothing. Timmy Thurneau getting on the board early. He had a good start to the action here tonight. Timmy Thurneau also scored the last time these two teams met, so he's 2 goals in his last 2 games against Jake Barnhart. And his team walks into the locker room with the lead.
Yeah, Thurneau getting that goal in the first period. But I think Illinois really got better as that period went on. They had a really nice forecheck there for a lot of the last 3 minutes of the period. I think Ohio was starting to get a little tired. You know, they're starting to feel the Illinois pushback after that good start. The adrenaline starts to wear off. It was very loud in here after the first goal, maybe the loudest I've heard it all year. But Illinois did some good things as the period went on. Really did an effective job at blocking shots. I mean, we mentioned Joey Caprio there at the end of the period to single him out. Really did a nice job. Really a nice competitive period of hockey. Ohio controlled the first half. Illinois, did some things, got better as that period went on. But it should be an interesting final 40 minutes here. I mean, it was an intense first period of hockey. It feels like the playoffs.
Shots 14-9 in favor of Ohio. Barnhart has made 13 saves to this point. Jimmy Thomas has found all 9 that have come his way. Ohio 1, Illinois nothing. At the end of 1, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back with the intermission report on the other side. back at Bird Arena here in the first intermission. Ohio takes a 1-0 lead into the locker room. Timmy Thurnau gets on the board at the 4:19 mark of the first period. Jake Houston adding an assist on that goal. He gets a point in his first game back in the lineup as Nick Gross walks by us there. Gross, as we mentioned earlier, broken hand out of the lineup for the Bobcats, the only player who is not healthy entering the CSCHL tournament. Certainly going to be a big loss, some big shoes to fill, but it helps that Houston comes back. So those two nearly identical in terms of points this year. Gross with 21, Houston with 20. So you like Houston being able to slide right in there, but it certainly does hurt. But regardless, at the end of the day, Jimmy Thomas making all 9 saves for the first 20 minutes. Jake Barnhart doing equally as well. Only one sneaks by him. 13 of 14 for Jake Barnhart. Nick Fabrini's club heading into the locker room. Still very much in this hockey. And what do you think his message is coming out into the second as they take an opportunity to reflect on that first period?
Well, I think, if Illinois just continue to weather the storm, I thought they played really good hockey after the first, 5 or so minutes. Like we've mentioned, Ohio came out, very motivated, very excited to play in the front of the home fans. It was very loud, a lot of adrenaline, all those sorts of things going on with Ohio. Ultimately able to bury that first goal. Thurnau gets on the board, has played really good hockey against Illinois, but, less specifically, more broadly against the ACHA as a whole the second half of the season. So I think, Illinois just focused on winning the neutral zone. I know the first time we saw these two teams play at Bird Arena, that was really the story of the game. Whoever took control of the neutral zone was able to take control of the game. And when Illinois did that, when they won on Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, it was because of their play in the neutral zone. I thought Illinois really did a nice job of establishing a forecheck the last couple of minutes of the game. Scoring chances aren't there that they want. Ohio's doing a good job of blocking shots, taking away to the middle of the ice, but Illinois is persistent. They keep, focusing on doing the little things, winning the board battles, winning the neutral zone, the forecheck, scoring chances, and the goals will ultimately come.
When you talk about Illinois' forecheck, conversely, the Bobcats breakout, we talked with Hogan earlier in the week. He said that he really wanted to focus on moving north-south, not getting caught up east-west in the neutral zone, deep in the defensive zone, that type of thing. Do you think that the Bobcats have done a good job with that heading into the second period?
I think they've done an honorable job, but I always think they can be better, particularly when breaking the puck out. If anything has been Ohio's Achilles heel this year, it's been that. It's been getting the puck out of the zone. Once they get to the neutral zone, and once they get in front of the net, we know how much they can score. We talked about, their scoring depth in the pregame shows, but really getting the puck out of the zone. You have some new faces back there on the defensive pairs, some new pairs together. Cody Black, a guy who stands out. Great passers, played forward all year. And I think that's a good transition for a guy like Cody as an example to, use that puck moving, that passing ability to get things going down the ice. A great team guy, Cody will do whatever it takes to win, almost like everyone in that locker room.
And you mentioned Cody Black as being a guy that stood out to you for the Bobcats. For the Illini, we hit on guys like McGing, like Kreutzschik, like Ernsting at the outset. Who impressed you most in the first period for the Illini?
Well, I think Grant Stube, did some really good things defensively. He plays smart, but he looked a lot like a defenseman there in that first period. He was all over the place, blocking shots, getting in passing lanes. He's good hands too. He's making some good passes. I know he's the guy we saw fighting the score sheet last time these two teams met up. Keep an eye on Stube.
There you have it, folks. We're going to send it back down to the ice. Illinois and Ohio take the surface for the start of the second period. Coach Nick Fabrini's club down 1-0 after 20. They'll see if they can reverse their fortunes here in the next frame. For Ohio, they look to increase this lead that they've built through the first period. Timmy Thurnau, as you mentioned, his 12th goal of the season to give Ohio the 1-0 advantage, assisted by Mike Polasics and Jake Houston. So everybody getting in on the action early for Coach Hogan's club. And it is certainly loud here as the band continues to bang on those drums.
Yeah, the band adds a whole nother layer of loudness and energy. The most exciting band in the land, the Ohio University 110 Pet Band, is in the house, in the Bird, we should say. OSINC Bird Arena, the site of this year's CSCHL tournament. A building celebrating its 60th year of operation along with the Ohio University hockey program. Really historic year, historic anniversary here.
And they would like to cap off this 60th season celebration with another CSCHL tournament banner. And they will have as good a shot as any to do that here if they can get the job done against the Illini. Start of the second period underway as both Ernsting and Evangelisti converge in the middle of the ice. Tying up, Evangelisti was Ernsting, but the Bobcats win the faceoff. And time does begin to run off the clock as both sides start action up once more. Luke Forfar takes the puck in the neutral zone and moves it over the blue line. Backhanded by Kolaz toward the net. That one was kicked away by the Bobcats' Cody Black. And out with it is Evangelisti. And he is able to dilly-dally through his own zone, get it back up top. And it's smothered by Barnhart for the whistle, just 34 seconds into the contest in the second.
Evangelisti makes gliding through the neutral zone and creating plays, creating rushes looks so easy as he just wallows his way around a defenseman right there, is able to create a face-off in the Ohio zone, lost by Ohio, but nonetheless great play by number 7 as usual.
In a quick shift for the first line, the second line of Brian Lubin, Tyler Harkins, and Matt Rudin out here now for Coach Hogan's Cats. Another whistle as Illinois enter the zone offside. That one comes back out just ahead of the Bobcats blue line in front of that 60th anniversary logo.
How about that? Very ironic that you mentioned the logo as we were talking about that. It's almost fate, destiny, if you will.
And a great design there. The outline of the state of Ohio, the big 60. Really a pretty design. Whoever came up with that one certainly has a good eye. And that one goes off the side of the cage. Jimmy Thomas watches that one behind his net. Tyler Harkins along the boards, badgered by Stuve and Kreutzschank. They're able to knock the puck free to McGing. McGing trying to work around Hazel, unable to do so. We saw his hands on display earlier, and he has got a slick pair of mitts.
Yeah, McGing, very pesky player, showing his defensive ability right there.
Matt Rudin drives the net and crashes on Jake Barnhart. Illinois keeps him out of the crease. The puck goes to the neutral zone, flipped into the bench area. And we're going to get another whistle.
How great of a play was that, Shane, by Kyle Craddock on that last shift, too? Have the IQ and the wherewithal, the reaction time to grab that puck out of air, drop it back down, and try and keep the offensive play going. Kyle Craddock looking like he hasn't missed a beat in his first game back on Bird Arena ice.
And that is the type of play you are going to get from Kyle Craddock. A very smart hockey player.
He sure is.
Speaking of smarts, Captain Jake Viella, who knows a thing or two about the game. Back on the defense for the Bobcats, he's joined by Sean Bayard. This is quite a physical blue line pairing for Coach Hogan. Out with it now is Picorni. He tried to make his way to the slot. Stephen Quinn interrupts him. And the Illini get it back out to Jimmy Thomas. Kyle Craddock
doing a good job of possessing the puck, trying to get it deep, trying to continue that effective forecheck that they finished the first period with.
Moskaluk, Pomeran, and Quinn out here for the Illini. On the defense, Joe Nolan and number 10, Drew Richter.
Richter's been an effective player all season for Illinois. Great size, great speed, and even better hands, Shane.
Moving down low is Richter. And joining him on the ice at the blue line, number 2, Joey Rittendale. Captain for the Illini watches on as his men forecheck deep in Ohio's zone. And he pitches down to try to engage Tom Picorni. Bobcats able to knock that puck free to the neutral zone. Turning around with it, come the Illini, number 19 for Illinois. Kellner gets the shot off. Big save there by Thomas. Picorni and Rittendale collide in the corner. That puck is squeezed along the boards in between Picorni's skates.
Familiar position for Tom Picorni to be a former defenseman as of yesterday. His first game at forward is a permanent fixture for Ohio.
Picorni played a little bit of forward last year, saw some time on the third and fourth line. So he's not exactly new to it by any means. Coach Hogan talked about how he was a natural forward heading in to college. Now they needed to utilize him on defense because they didn't get the kind of production that they wanted in training camp in last year's 2016-2017 season. So Picorni offered to move back, but now that Cody Black is manning his position, he will have an opportunity to work his magic up front.
Good play by Nolan there to walk around the Bobcats defenseman and get that puck deep.
And almost a beautiful seam pass from Houston to Lampron. Batted out of the air by the Illini. Tommy Kolas in the zone. Shot high over Thomas's glove side. And back behind the net, Elmore down. And Jimmy Thomas falls on the puck for the whistle. Nearly 5 minutes off the clock here in the second period. 15:36 left in the stanza. Ohio 15-11 lead in the shot category.
Shane, something I want to highlight for our viewers at home is the lack of penalties we've seen in this game. Only that one offsetting penalty in the first period. First two games that we saw here at Bird Arena were full of penalties and power play opportunities, but refs letting them play, both teams cleaning up the play. So it's playoff time.
Great block there by Cody Black, denying James McGing an opportunity to send one Thomas's way. We talk about those penalties. 25 penalties between the two sides over the course of the weekend. That is quite the number. That one's batted down by Cruikshank. Offside play is whistled dead by the refs. Face-off coming back out to the neutral zone. Joey Caprio, Tyler Opilka, James McGing, Eric Cruikshank, and Grant Stuve out here for Nick Fabrini. The first line of Evangelisti, Thernal, and Palasics. Out here for Ohio as Evangelisti is tripped up off the draw. He moved ahead with the puck and draws the penalty. And just as you mentioned, the fact that there are no penalties being called, we get one here as Illinois will head to the box for a trip.
Yeah, Evangelisti hauled down, just trying to win that face-off. It goes straight through. Looks like it's going to be number 25.
Stuve has a word with the referee as he heads to the box. Grant Stuve will serve two in the sin bin. Ohio will head to the power play for the first time here tonight, 3 for 12. The last time Illinois came into town on the man advantage. Ohio certainly knows how to score on the man advantage. At one point this season, they were clicking at about 11%, but they have really got that number up just a shade under 22% now, so they almost doubled it.
Yeah, really a shift in philosophy, kind of a shoot-first philosophy as the year has gone on here for Ohio.
Out here is Evangelisti, Harkins, and Rudin. Fiala and Houston on the back end. And that puck comes to Houston. Touch back to Evangelisti. Some quick passing by the Bobcats. And Evangelisti and Fiala cannot connect. But they retain in the neutral zone and plug back away into the Illini's end.
Ohio trying to regroup here. Good pressure there by David Kellner.
Some slick skating there by Houston as he shakes off number 24, Bobby Ernsting. Houston cannot squeeze that puck along the boards. That one skips free to Thomas, who sweeps it on the backhand to his defender in the opposite corner. Houston now has Palasics at the top of the zone. Kicked off Palasics' right skate and back down low again.
Palasics had 3 power play goals last time Illinois and Ohio played. Definitely finding some sort of way on the power play here.
Bobcats with 34 seconds remaining on the man advantage, looking for some offense here. Haven't been able to get too many shots off on Barnhart to this point. Cody Black on the defense, moving the puck ahead. Brian Lubin takes it and feeds it to Palasics. In with speed is 28, shot high into the netting for the stop.
Mike Palasics with a good chance right there. Looked like he had a little bit of an area to sneak that puck by the Illinois goaltender, but sends it high into the protective netting. Nonetheless, good scoring chance for number 28. Like I was saying, he's really become quite the power play asset for Ohio.
2 power play goals in the Friday night 5-3 victory against David Heflin and the Illini. Mike Palasics, a career-high 29 points this season, 14 goals and 15 assists for the first-line left winger.
Still time to build on that total as well, Shane.
He's back out here for the remainder of this power play. Lubin and Thernal join him. Cody Black cannot take the puck cleanly That one bounces to the stick of Quinn, but we get an immediate whistle by the referee.
I think they're going to call that a hand pass. The face-off coming in front of Jimmy Thomas now. So Craddock and Crandall will shift on the ice along with Tom Picorni as well.
You get the defensive guys out here with a face-off in the defensive zone. Countering Craddock is number 24, Bobby Ernsting. Excuse me, number 14, Neil Novosel. My apologies. And Novosel into the corner. He and Craddock battle down low. Craddock knocks him off the puck. And Cody Black is free to take it. Cody Black finds Crandall in the slot. Backhanded by number 15. Big save by Barnhart. Going the other way is Homerin. Shot by Homerin. He finds the back of the net. Chance Homerin buries the biscuit past Jimmy Thomas to tie this game up at 1. And Homerin's 6th goal of the season gives Illinois the equalizer.
Well, when you crash the net like Ohio was on that last shift, you risk exactly that, letting a skater from the opposing team come in streaking, and that's what Chance Homerin did. Great awareness by Homerin to see he had the space and put that one by Jimmy Thomas. Great shot, too, by Chance.
Fresh off the penalty kill, the Illini strike. And we have ourselves an even contest once more. 1-1. It's the Bobcats will try to answer here. Zach Frank sending one over the left glove of Barnhart. Loose stick in the corner. Picking it back up is Kellner. And he recovers and finds the puck at his heel. Elmore, the big body in the corner, has the puck knocked off his stick. It comes back to Barnhart in the crease. And he will fall on it for the whistle. And Ohio with its 4th line on the ice, or a mix there of Garrett Jenkins, Garrett Elmore, and Zach Frank out here up top. Fiala and Bayard on the back.
Getting word now that the Illinois goal, the second of the game, and the one that ties it up, was scored by Chance Homerin and assisted by John Moskalik. That's Homerin from Moskalik to make it 1-1.
Puck kicked out by Barnhart again to the crease by Jenkins, and another shot down low. Barnhart making 1 save, 2 saves, and he keeps it out of the net. A great effort by the Illini netminder to weather the storm from the Bobcats. They sent 3 or 4 his way and had a ton of pressure near the mouth of the crease, but he makes all the stops. 21-12 are the shots now as we approach the halfway point of this contest. 12-16 on the clock. And that might have been the Bobcats' best flurry of opportunities here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. That puck just inches away from crossing the goal line, but no one is there to bury the biscuit in the basket.
One on by the Illini. Joe Nolan possesses the puck below his goal line. Picked off by Evangelisti. Nice pass to Mike Palasic. He's taken down on another penalty as Nolan will be administered a trip. Mike Palasic took the feed from Evangelisti, and he was immediately tripped.
And a beautiful pass at that from the stick of Evangelisti to find Palasic in front of the net. A bang-bang play, not a lot of time to think for Gianni. Ohio's headed to the power play again.
We'll see if they can capitalize on the Illini's mistakes here. As Fiala put it in the middle of the week, this game really could come down to who is able to really capitalize on each other's mistakes. A tight series over the last couple seasons, really. The Illini always playing the Bobcats tough, a very similar opponent. And you got to get the sense that Ohio would really like to capitalize on one of these power plays.
Shane Joe Nolan was the Illini player to go off to the box. He's a big 6'4" guy, one of their best penalty killers. Not the guy you want taking penalties.
Houston calling for the puck, and he will get it from Fiala. He sends one to the crease. Evangelisti was there low, and that one slides through everyone to the corner for Harkins. Banked off the boards, back up top for Houston. He deliberates. Evangelisti in a familiar territory. Shot blocked by Caprio. Another attempt by Harkins as he sweeps one to Barnhart. Evangelisti getting tied up with Colas and pushing and shoving by number 7 and number 26 respectively. And no penalties will be called on either side as cooler heads will prevail.
I think that's the right call, Shane. You got to let the boys play at this point of the year. Really don't want the referees imposing themselves on the game. You got to find out who the better team truly is.
It's a little bit uncharacteristic for Gianni. We haven't seen him really with that, mean streak by any means during his tenure with the Bobcats, but it's a big game.
He's always holding his own out there.
Houston sails one high into the netting for the whistle. Ohio opening up a 10-shot advantage here as we move toward the halfway point of the contest. 11-17 on the board. Shots 22-12 in favor of the Bobcats. They have a minute 13 to work with here on the power play as they try to regain the lead. Harkins has it to the half wall for Evangelisti on the right-hand side. Blocking it is Evangelisti, and he'll put on the brakes and turn back. Feeding Harkins, back low for Evangelisti again. He has time and space. Flicks one to Fiala. Houston there to help him out as it goes off his skate. Bobcats will regroup in the neutral zone. Touched up by Fiala, and the rest will say he was a step ahead of the play. Offsides, and Ohio will change it up.
Yeah, Ohio looking a little lost on the power play right now. Struggling to find any consistency in the offensive zone or get anything set up. Really need to start looking towards the net more. Really a change in strategy. We've seen them really set up a man at the point and just let it rip. Not the case so far with this game.
And that may be because Illinois has done a great job clogging the lanes, not giving the Bobcats any avenues to get those shots off. We'll see if a guy like Hazel might be able to do something here as he is on the ice now. Another offsides called by the refs. And Ohio wasting this power play right now as a minute 34 has drained from the 2-minute penalty to number 27, Joe Nolan. The Bobcats with 25 seconds to work with here, and that one is kicked out to Evangelisti. He'll settle it with the paddle. Ohio will try to break out again. Blasix and Hazel connect, and Hazel will quarterback the power play on the back end. Turned over to Forfar. He doesn't get much on it, but it's just enough to stop the Bobcats' progression. Black takes a hit along the boards by Kreutzschank. Nolan back out here as the Bobcats' power play expires. Hazel pressured by McGing and Stuve. And the Illini get the better of the Bobcats' defensemen.
Yeah, that was a tough power play for Ohio. We haven't seen them look like that in quite a while.
Speedster Craddock applying the forecheck. Kyle Craddock really looking good out here in his first action back. You can tell that he has been rested and he is ready to go.
He absolutely is. The guy is really happy, all smiles to get back on the ice.
Joey Crapio loses his stick. Tom Picorni gets the stick. Actually, it was Picorni who had lost his twig. And he recovers and heads back to the defensive zone. Jimmy Thomas puts it behind his net. Comes back out for number 10, and I don't know if that one went in. That looked like it might have came in and back out. The rest will say that is no goal. Unfortunately for the Bobcats, there's no instant replay, but it's not really going to matter because Illinois buries it on the second chance. That is Joey Rittendale, the captain for the Illini. He had 2 goals on Friday and Saturday, respectively, the last time he was in here, and he adds his 9th of the season to give his team a 2-1 victory here, and he's really quieted this crowd. I think that first one actually went into the net too, Ethan, but
yeah,
nevertheless, it was superfluous as Illinois was able to get the goal.
Yeah, not going to matter. Joe Rittendale's a Bobcat killer so far this season. Had the game-winning goal 2 Saturdays ago, and a wonderful slap shot that beats Jimmy Thomas right there. It's 2-1 Ohio chasing the puck right now. Needs to get their momentum back.
And Ohio on the ensuing shift had pressure in front of Barnhart. Illinois able to keep it out of the net. That would have been a big play for the Bobcats as the wind has been taken out of their sails here a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's all Illinois.
And it does go in the back of the net. What an unfortunate bounce for the Illini. And you got to think they want to have that one back. They fumbled the puck in front of Barnhart. He wasn't ready for it. And the Bobcats do tie the game up. Looks as though Grant Hazel may get credit for the goal. He's the first one leading the celebration back to the bench. Illinois was the last one to touch it, but regardless, we got ourselves a hockey game again, folks. Back and forth, 2-2.
Tough break there for Illinois, playing so well. Hockey's often a game of bounces, just goes towards the net, can make good things happen, and that's exactly what Ohio did. It's 2-2 with 8:25 remaining in the second period.
Just like that, Ohio evens things up here. 2-2 now with 8:13 left in the second. Maybe that was the spark that Ohio needed.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll take them however you can get them, regardless if they come from your stick or the opponent's. Jake Barnhart didn't have much of a fighting chance there as his defenders just could not make a play in front of him. We'll see how they respond now as this game is knotted up at 2. Ohio entering the zone. Evangelisti takes it and has his shot blocked by Caprio. Looks as though Hazel will get credit for that goal. We'll wait to see what the official score says. And here is PA announcer Jake with the call.
7:32 remaining in the game. Ohio, significant advantage in the shot clock as Garrett Jenkins gets the goal. So face-off coming down in Jimmy Thomas's world of things.
So not Hazel, but Jenkins, who will get credit for the goal. Hazel, as I said earlier, led the celebration back to the bench. Usually that is a good indication of who would score, but they'll give it to Jenkins. So number 29's third goal of the season, his 6th point, knots things up for the Bobcats. We're going to get a penalty to Ohio. Evangelisti in the box, and Illinois out to the power play. We saw Ohio with 2 opportunities here tonight. This is Illinois' first man advantage of the evening.
Still trying to figure out who got assists on the third goal of the hockey game, but the Ohio goal was scored by Garrett Jenkins, assisted by Gabe Lampron and Zach Frank. That's Jenkins from Lampron and Frank, the 4th goal of the game to tie it at 2 for Ohio.
Bobby Ernsting moves it back to Opilka. Up high is number 22 for the Illini. And he finds Ernsting once more. Down low for Forfar, and he sneaks it in. And not a good goal. Certainly one you want to have back if you're Jimmy Thomas. A poor angle shot by Forfar, but hey, that's why you play the game. You got to throw it on net and see what happens. Credit number 44 for the Illini, Luke Forfar, for doing just that, catching Jimmy Thomas napping. And that one squeaks through on the on the right-hand side of the post.
We've seen some absolutely ludicrous bounces this period. Shane Forfar just throwing that puck on net, hoping for the best, and he gets the best and more a goal that takes the lead back in favor of Illinois. 3-2.
And we'll see where this game takes us here. It went from a 1-0 contest to a 2-1 Illinois lead. Ohio knotted things back up on a fortuitous bounce. And Illinois takes the lead once more with much of the same. A great stretch pass there by Harkins. He connects with Lubin. Illinois gets back. Brian Lubin gets tied up with Nolan. Pressuring him is number 17, John Moskalek. Moskalek touches it up over the red line. No icing on the play as he is ahead of that middle line there into the Bobcat zone. From the corner to the half and out. Tyler Harkins has it, walking over the Illini's line. Shot there by Harkins, low. Big save by Barnhart. And that one kicks back out. 24-14 are the shots. Whistle. And he lays that whistle down pretty hard there.
Yeah, well, the fifth goal of this hockey game, scored by Luke Forfar for Illinois to take a 3-2 lead, assisted by Trevor Olpika. That is Forfar from Olpika.
Wind up from the point by Houston. Big save up high by Barnhart. Puck goes to the corner. Elmore low with Craddock. Houston joining them as he goes to the corner. Sean Bayard up high. Shot by Bayard. Houston has another opportunity. Blocked there by the line, and it goes into the back of the net. Tyler Craddock scores. In his first game back, Kyle Craddock ties things back up here.
Kyle Craddock going to the net, finding the rebound, burying it. A goal. His first goal being back in the lineup. Extremely excited to hop and a leap into the boards. Gotta feel good for number 8.
What a big goal, and it could not have come at a better time for Kyle Craddock. His third of the season. First in over 13 games. He's been out for the majority of the second half with that abdominal injury, and he comes back in a big way here. We talked about the efforts through the first 20, 30 minutes or so. Well, he gets rewarded for all that good work with the bingo. Just 4:45 remaining in the second, 3-3 right now. This game has been one for the books so far. It's been a crazy contest.
Yeah, great block by Garrett Elmore there to sacrifice the body on that shift.
Elmore out here for the Bobcats. Following the Craddock goal, Lampron and Frank join him. Puck goes from one side to the other over the outstretched stick of Black, but Frank moves to the point to recover for the Bobcats. Kendotti pressuring Lampron in the corner. Frank and number 18, Jack Graham, converge as well. Chipped out by Stu, picked up at the red line by Fiala and sent right back in. Kendotti has it. The left-hander smacks one off the boards up to Graham and out for Kreutzschank. Over the line is number 15 shot. Sails wide right. Forfar at the point. Moves it low once more.
Shane getting word now at the 6th goal of this hockey game and tied at 3-3. Oh, hold on.
Lampron ties up Forfar. Shot from Nolan to the net. Saved by Thomas. Out goes the pass. And the two cannot connect. As Fiala tried to find a streaking Gabe Lampron.
The 6th goal of this game to tie it back at 3-3 was scored by Kyle Craddock, assisted by Drew Crandall and Jake Houston. That's Craddock, Crandall, and Houston. Make it 3-3.
Houston with his second assist of the night. Craddock with the goal. Both guys who enter the lineup for the first time in a while get on the board. We're going to have a penalty here. Brian Lubin behind the net gives a shove to Tommy Kolaz. Kolaz says, what was that for?
Good play by Kolaz there to draw the trip there. Nonetheless, Ohio's going to go back to the penalty kill. A huge penalty kill coming up with exactly 3 minutes left in this period. But as back and forth as this period's been, Ohio's been down, they've been up. Would hate to give one up on the power play right here. Big kill coming up.
Brian Lubin heads to the box. The second line center for Ohio will serve 2 in the sin bin. 3 minutes exactly on the clock. 3-3 is the score. Illinois back to the power play as Kreutzschank, McGing, and Forfar are out here up top. Ernsting and Opilka down low. The assistant captain, Tyler Opilka, out with it. He flips it in, and he gets there first for the Illini. There for Ohio, Jake Fiala, and he pins it along the boards, chewing up clock in his own end. Loose puck to the stick of Kreutzschank, takes it on the backhand and moves it to Ernsting at the point to Opilka. Down low for Kreutzschank once more, blocked by Houston into the netting for the whistle.
Keep an eye on Eric Kreutzschank on this power play. Shane out there getting some power play time before he goes off the ice now for a line change. Tied for this lead. Power play goals for Illinois with 4.
Stuve to take the draw for the Illini. Cody Black steps up to the dot for the Bobcats on the penalty kill. We saw him playing defense for the first period and a half, 2 periods. Coach Hogan utilizing his versatility here as he wants Black to take the draw, and he does just that. Wins it back. Illinois now with possession as the puck bounces to the Illini. Joe Nolan has it up top. Feeds Kolaz on the left side, down low for number 10. Back to Kolaz, shot blocked by Hazel. He takes it and snaps it down to Barnhart. Chewing some clock, less than a minute left on the penalty to Lubin. 1:45 left in the second period. Illinois starts the rush once more here. Number 10, Drew Richter, cycles around behind the net. He feeds his man for the shot. Tom Kolas has the puck. Wind up by Cruikshank. Big save by Jimmy Thomas.
And a rebound given up there. Rare rebound at that. Thankfully, Illinois unable to bury it for Ohio. 20 seconds left on this penalty kill for the Cats.
Nolan slides it over to Kolaz. Back to Nolan again. Skips over his stick, but he recovers. The two continue to play catch. Hazel sends it out of harm's way. Picked up by Nolan at his own blue line. Walking through 3 Bobcats. Jake Houston, Timmy Thurnau, and Grant Hazel. Out in front of the net is Caprio. He sends one to the net, and it goes in. No, it does not, and it finally does there. James McGing thought he had one. That one settled along the goal line, and Illinois was able to find the rebound as they do eventually find the back of the net. The second chance opportunity. Stephen Quinn bearing the biscuit to give his team the lead once more. This has been just a battle of attrition here in the second.
Yeah, it sure has. Ohio unable to move the Illinois defenders from the net. When you crash the net, we've seen it so many times today, and especially in this game, good things will happen. Illinois finally able to bury it, make it 4-3 inside of a minute. Ohio kills off the penalty. That one hurts.
James McGing thought he had himself a goal. A wide open cage for number 13, but Jimmy Thomas somehow made the initial save. It was pretty hard to recover after that. He was in a compromising position in the crease. Illinois crashing the net hard and finding the dirty goal. Forfar with the puck. He puts on the brakes, sends one Thomas's way. Blocked down by the Bobcats. That one goes up and comes back down. Still in play for the Illini. Kellner tied up with Lubin, and Lubin does strip him of the puck, but Kellner recovers, kicks it over to Forfar. Forfar out in front, trying to tuck it on the backhand. Toe save by Thomas. Another shot by Ernsting, and he buries the biscuit. And things are starting to get a little bit ugly here at the end of the 2. 5-3 now for the Illini. Ernsting finds the back of the net past Thomas. Sean Hogan not happy here as his team will most likely head into the locker room down 2 goals and looking for an answer with 20 minutes to play.
Yeah, Ernsting just turns around, fires that one right into the back of the net. We know Bobby Ernsting has a great shot, one of the best in the league. He just turns around looking to throw that one in the net and finds the back of the net. 5-3.
Ernsting's 13th of the season extends the lead for the Illini, and they will head into the locker room after 40, up 5-3. A different period than the first. Ohio was up 1-0 at the end of 1. Illinois scored 5 goals in the second. A very uncharacteristic night for Ohio in its own defensive end. Jimmy Thomas badgered down low. Credit Illinois for continuing to push the play, continuing to collide in front of the crease, but at the end of the day, a couple softies here, a couple bad bounces there, and Ohio finds himself down 2 at the end of 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Ohio, you can only control what you can control. I mean, defensively, they're playing too far off the puck. They need to be more aggressive, really pressure Illinois in all 3 zones of the game. A big reason why Illinois was able to drop 5 on Ohio this period was that lack of pressure for sure.
After Ohio tied the game at 3, Stephen Quinn scored the 4th, and Bobby Ernsting scored the 5th to give Fabrini's club a 5-3 advantage heading into the final frame. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have more from the second period as Ohio looks to try to tie this game up in the third. back at Bird Arena here at the end of 5-3 Illinois. 5 goals in the second for the Illini. The Bobcats down 2 heading into the third period, an unfamiliar position for Coach Hogan's club. Not many times in the season have we seen them get beat as badly as they did there in the second. To recap the scoring, Chance Homran picks up his 6th of the season. Joey Rittendale his 9th to give Illinois a 2-1 lead. Ohio was able to battle back, tie the game at 2. Illinois with a costly mistake out in front of Barnhart. Jenkins with credit for that goal, assisted by Lampron and Frank to give Ohio the 2-2 tie. But Luke Forfar, who was able to put the Illini back up 3-2, assisted by Tyler Opilka. Kyle Craddock, his first in a long while, 3rd of the season, knotted things back up at 3. And just as you saw, Stephen Quinn made it 4-3. That was assisted by James McGing, none other than the leading scorer for the Illini. And then Robert Ernsting with a beauty, able to thread the seam high over Jimmy Thomas's shoulder here. Another assist to Opilka, Ernsting's 13th of the year, gives his team the 2-goal lead heading into the final frame. And Ohio right now with their backs against the wall in the final 20 minutes. We talked about how they were able to come back in that Friday night game 2 weeks ago and get the 5-3 win after being down 3-2 at the end of 2 to the Illini. They find themselves down 2 now, not just 1. What do they need to do to climb back into this game?
Well, I think they need to change the way they're playing on the blue line, talking about the defensemen specifically. I thought they really played off the puck. They were chasing the puck more than we've really seen them do at any point this year. You know, I know they're missing Nick Gross. I think he's a big part of this team, particularly on the power play, but they got to find a way to really play better defensively. You know, the scoring's there. Even with a couple of bounces, Ohio, you know, they can score goals in bunches. I don't think that they need to be that concerned about that aspect of their game, but really have to get more aggressive on defense and be more responsible with the puck. I mean, a couple of these breakouts, like we mentioned at the beginning of the game, don't want to beat the dead horse to death, but it's really a point that needs to be changed for Ohio if they're going to get back in this game. Really be careful with the puck.
Yeah, you got to give credit where credit is due. Illinois has been relentless. They have attacked the crease. They have given Jimmy Thomas fits all night long down low. But you also have to look at what the Bobcats didn't do down low, which was get pressure on those guys. Guys like Fiala, guys like Hazel, those big-bodied defensemen need to step up, use their sticks, use their size to really keep Illinois out of that area of the ice. We've seen a couple goals down low now as Jimmy Thomas was beat, and we saw a couple from some weird angles, one from right around the goal line area. Obviously, Ernsting had a shot from kind of the corner area as well. That was just a great one. You can't do much about that snipe, but you can certainly try to tighten up out in the slot. So we'll see whether Ohio can make those adjustments. We're going to send you back down to the ice as we get started here for the third period. 20 minutes separates Illinois from playing Lindenwood. If they can hold on to the lead for Ohio, they will try to knot this thing back up even before they have any thoughts about moving forward. They find themselves in quite a hole here.
Yeah, I always have thoughts, you know, Ohio, I think they're doing good things offensively. Like I mentioned, it starts with possessing the puck. You know, they struggled in the face-off dot that period more than we've seen them do at times this season. So really got to keep winning on the face-offs if you're Ohio. Control the puck, win the neutral zone, and really, like I said previously, focus on those breakouts.
Talk about maybe a guy that they plug in for the face-offs. We saw it there on the penalty kill. Cody Black playing defense tonight here. Coach Hogan wasn't afraid to use him on the PK up top. And not that Ohio really needs to send anybody from the D-line back up, being that they only have 5 on the blue line. But at the end of the day, if you can use some of that versatility in a good way, it's not a problem. Coach Hogan going to have to get creative here. Illinois has done a good job countering just about everything Ohio has set out to do. Nick Fabrini, every bit the counterpart of Coach Hogan.
Ohio going with their 4th line, so to speak. Craddock, Jenkins, and Garrett Elmore out there. Coach Hogan shaking up the lines a little bit to start this third period.
The Bobcats are going to need everybody in the building to be on their side here, including the fans. That engagement, hopefully, will give them some energy here as they try to come back in this hockey game. As you mentioned, that 4th line out here, Kyle Craddock, who had a goal there in the second, on the ice now for the Bobcats. Cody Black in as well as Moskaluk takes a tumble and he drags Black down with him. The Bobcats in the zone. A shot there by Elmore. Sails high off the glass. Another one Barnhart's way. Bangs off the backboard. Stephen Quinn collects it and moves it promptly out of the zone.
3-on-2 there, led by Elmore. Got to find a way to put that puck on the net or make an extra pass, something. Cannot afford to be giving up those opportunities down 2 late in the game.
Lubin's no-look pass intercepted at the top of the offensive zone. Illini take it back toward Jimmy Thomas. That one skates over the stick of McGing. Back to Opilka. Shot blocked by Hazel when he gets his big body in front of that release.
A lot of real estate Grant Hazel has to work with. Gets his knee on that puck.
Rudin gets a piece of it, knocks it back to Houston. Houston chips it to the other end for Hazel. Picked off by Creekshank out of the neutral zone. He gets it over the blue line, turns it over to the Bobcats defense. Hazel and Houston connecting here as Houston enters the zone. Leaves it for Harkins, who flips it, and it is picked off by McGing. And he has some room to work with here as he crosses the offensive end. Evangelisti strips him of the puck and sends it back out.
Evangelisti was looking for Rudin there along the right side of the ice. Rudin just behind the play. An offside call, unfortunately.
Harkins did his best to try to keep that one in, and it just snuck over the line. We're going to get a whistle here. A minute 51 into the third period. Shots 26-22 in favor of the Illini. This is another weird position for the Bobcats to be in. We always traditionally see Ohio put up a ton of shots, usually do outshoot their opponents on most nights. Illinois, with the offensive prowess here, putting a lot of pucks Jimmy Thomas's way and finding the back of the net on 5 of those opportunities.
Yeah, ridiculous period for Ohio. Really rarely we see them give up 2 or 3 goals in a period, let alone 5.
But that is over and done with. They've got 17:50 ahead of them, and that is what you need to focus on. You can't change the past. You can only change the future. We'll see what the Bobcats are able to do over the last period. They have the puck at their stick. Evangelisti, the leading point getter for the Bobcats. Over to Turneau, and a good play by Kellner. He tied up Timmy and was able to knock the puck off his stick back to the neutral zone. Evangelisti has it. Walking the circle. Knocks back up top to Houston. Rebound there. Houston's low shot hit off of Timmy Turneau. Went to the crease, and a big save there by Barnhart. This puck comes back to Mike Palasic's stick.
An absolutely ridiculous glove save to sprawl out across the street. The crease full splits from Barnhart. That saved it from being a 1-goal game.
Lampron filling in up top, keeping the puck in at the point. And that one skirts around those end boards to the other side. Tommy Kolaz, number 26 for the Illini, pressuring on the forecheck.
This is exactly the start Ohio wanted, not the results they want in terms of goals yet, but really controlling the puck, establishing their forecheck, taking back momentum in this game as that one did not hit the rafters somehow. Play continues.
And neither did that one. That eerily close to being whistled dead. Instead, the refs will let the play continue. Out here for the Bobcats, Crandall, Lampron, and Zach Frank. Zach Frank took the shot from Hazel off his leg, gets back up. Hazel kept it in initially, but it does go over the blue line. Illinois feeds it back to its defense and breaks it out.
16 minutes even remaining in this hockey game. Ohio down 2 after a 5-goal third period from Illinois. Second period, rather.
Garrett Elmore in on the forecheck, the big forward for the Bobcats. Had 11 goals in the regular season. And if he could provide a 12th here on this shift, that might be the biggest one of them all. Elmore down low. That puck came from Fiella on the right-hand board to the crease, saved by Barnhart for the whistle.
Yeah, I think Fiella rang that one off the side of the post, getting so close to the Bobcats to burying a goal, getting right back into this one.
One by Craddock, back to Picorni, shot immediately off the glass behind Barnhart. Elmore finds himself out in front. That one bangs off the boards and off the glass. Kicks out to the Illini. Novosel has it. John Moskaluk and Stephen Quinn both offside. We'll get a whistle here. That one coming back out to Ninja territory.
Sean Baird finishing his check there right after the whistle. Sean never afraid to finish checks. That is certainly a big part of his game, is the physicality. Number 14, Sean Baird.
And I don't have the official stat, but it would be interesting to see how many hits Baird did have this year. I'm sure Coach Hogan keeps a running tally of that. I bet you it's a lot. Cruikshank along the boards. Low for Stuve. High again for Kendati. And he wings one around the end. McGing has it. Strong arms. Houston off the puck. Turns it over to Kyle Craddock. And Kyle Craddock trudges through the neutral zone, sends it in, and heads to the bench.
Shane, next goal is going to be a huge one. Ohio would have quite the hill to climb up, being down 3. Absolutely ridiculous spin move from Houston there.
One of the slickest skaters in the ACHA. It really is amazing to watch him dance that blue line.
It really just makes it look easy. It's a good example of it right there.
And that is the type of play you're going to get from a guy like Houston. Obviously, Coach Hogan happy to have him back in the lineup contributing like that. If he could make some more magic happen, that would be a welcome benefit for the Bobcats.
Definitely needs some magic right now. Still plenty of time though, Shane. 14:29 remaining in regulation.
Ohio down but not out as they continue play in the third period. That one to the feet of Kellner. In to help him was Hommerin. He scored to start things off for the Illini, and he opened the floodgates for Illinois, the first of 5 in the second period. Bobcats' second line out here now for the Hunter green and white. Cody Black takes it on defense and is stymied at the red line by Hommerin. Knocked back in behind Thomas, who settles it for Fiala. Touched by Lubin, who heads to the bench. Harkins and Rudin on the forecheck. Rudin gets to it first. Ernsting chips it off the back end and looks for a man getting loose. That was Tommy Kolaz. Hazel was there to intercept. Harkins could not get it to one of his men. Turned over to Tommy Kolaz. And a good play by Harks, getting back to interrupt Kolaz's shot attempt there. And a wind up from no man's land goes into the netting. Bobby Ernsting trying to put all of that in the kitchen sink into that shot.
Yeah, Ohio getting a little too aggressive chasing the puck there. Gave up the middle of the ice way too easily. Dodged a bullet. They give it, would have been the 6th goal. Cannot have that happen. Be a little bit more disciplined. Not time to be desperate quite yet for Ohio.
Charlie Salk, Neil Novosel, and Stephen Quinn out for the Illini on the forward unit. Bobcats counter with the first line of Evangelisi and Mike Palasics. And in is Palasics and Thurnau. Palasics comes away with the biscuit and knocks it off Stalksick as Ohio continues to pressure the offensive end. That one finally out. And Ohio retreats and sets up shop once more.
Ohio's really dominated the puck possession time as Illinois comes the other way.
The shot there by Quinn, tumbling into the net like a bowling ball, was Neil Novosel, and down along the ice with him is Stephen Quinn. Jimmy Thomas having a word with Charlie Salk. Salk and the rest of his squad heads back to the bench.
Yeah, a lot of teams have found that, crashing in net, it's been an effective strategy against Ohio, particularly in the second half of the season. But back to my previous point there before that Illinois rush, Ohio really doing a good job of controlling the puck this period, much better than the second. Still got to find some goals, find the back of the net, improve your scoring chances if you're Ohio.
It's certainly a much better effort, but have yet to get anything to show for it. Jenkins gets toppled over, and Jimmy Thomas will head to the bench. Ohio will head to the power play, but not before they send out a 6th man. We'll see what they can do with the extra body on the ice. Finally touching it is Candati. This is a huge opportunity for the Bobcats. They need one badly.
Yeah, they really struggled on the power play last period. Have to get some better chances, really look for them to put the puck on net in a more aggressive fashion. Maybe go back to that slap shot type style set up outside of the face-off dots that's worked so well for them in previous weekends. You see Hazel and Houston out there right now.
Exactly, the man with the plan. The man with the plan is Grant Hazel. He has 9 goals on the back end. Leads all Bobcat defenders, 27 points, also tops amongst the people on the blue line. Sometimes when that Bobcats defense gets going, they're hard to stop. We'll see what they're able to do with it here as Hazel moves it up ahead for Evangelisti. Ernsting strips Evangelisti and walks in to Thomas's crease. Jimmy Thomas takes exception to that as he pushes and shoves Ernsting. 32 seconds off the clock on the power play. And Ohio will get a change here as Pulisic, Thernal, and Brian Lubin head out to the ice.
We've seen Jimmy Thomas not be afraid to mix things up with opposing players that enter his crease, giving a little shove back to Illinois, saying, "This is my house. Do not come into my house. Thank you."
Jimmy Thomas, one of the more mild-mannered guys off the ice, but on it, certainly does not want anybody trying to test him down low there.
Just a sophomore, but plenty of experience last year. Jimmy got playing behind Ryan Helshin and Aaron Alkema. It's a sophomore, plays like a senior.
Slapped in by the Illini. More time ticks off the clock as Illinois tries to kill off this penalty, and the Bobcats try to cut this deficit to 1. Mike Pulisic in, over to Lubin, down low, and out for Timmy Thernal in front of Barnhart. Illinois bats it back down to Thomas. Ohio regroups on the power play once more. They have Lubin down the right end. Lubin with a shot, fluttered one off the back end, around to the half wall, past Viella, and over to Jimmy Thomas, who leaves it for Black.
Ohio moving Cody Black, who's played defense for this game, back onto the power play unit. He's off the ice now, or he's skating off the ice, but center on the power play is number 18.
And Evangelisti swoops in and stalks his prey. He is set up along the right-hand board on the opposite side of the ice from us. Tyler Harkins directs one that is touched by Matt Rudin. Rudin eventually gets the puck to Evangelisti, who sends it to Hazel. His slap shot is blocked out front, and Ohio will not be successful on the power play. Illinois kills it off, puts another body on the ice, 5-on-5 once more.
A couple of huge blocks by Illinois, but none bigger than that last one on the Hazel slap shot.
10 minutes left in the contest. Ohio still down 2 here. Shots 30-29 in favor of the Bobcats. Have 8 in this period, but still not able to find the back of the net. Kyle Craddock, who has been blazing all night long for Ohio, moved the puck ahead, but has to retreat as Illinois gets it back deep.
Sean Baird winning that puck battle. That's the kind of things Ohio's going to need. Down 2. Time starting to become a factor. We're more than halfway through this period. 9:30 left in the
settled by the skate of Jenkins. Left it for Craddock. Joe Rittendale engaging number 8 in the offensive zone and making the stop. That one is whistled dead with 9:24 left in the contest.
Ohio leading the shot clock by just one, 30-29 in that statistic.
To the boards goes the play. Tom Picorni picks up the loose change. Sweeps one back to the slot. Turned over to Illinois. Here comes Kellner. Kellner with the shot. Sails wide right of Thomas. Chance Omerin along the hash on the right side. Gets it back deep. But Kellner cannot collect it. Out to Craddock. Over the red line. He sends it in. Barnhart touches it and leaves it for Candotti. Frank on the backhand. Poking it down low to Jenkins. The two could not connect there. As the puck comes free to the Illini, out is Muskalik and Kellner. Kellner falls to his feet. That puck heads to the crease, and Jimmy Thomas doing everything he can to keep it out net off its moorings. Jimmy Thomas had to stretch that paddle out to keep it from sliding over the goal line. Counters down on the ice.
Yeah, game-saving stop there by Jimmy Thomas. That one almost pushed across the goal line by Jake Houston there, but Thomas able to get the back of his stick on that one and prevent that goal from being the ninth goal of the game and the sixth for Illinois. That one probably would have left about 8:41 remaining in regulation. Ohio trails 5-3.
30-30, even are the shots. Face off out in the neutral zone. Neil Novosel to take it for the Illini. Zach Frank will try for the Bobcats. Elmore and Lampron join him up top. Grant Hazel and Jake Houston on the back end. Shot by Moskaluk into the netting. And another whistle here. Face off in the Illini offensive end.
Good shot there by Moskaluk, walking right down the middle of the ice. And it's not the guy Jimmy Thomas wants to see. We've seen Moskaluk line up the scoreboard in the last 3 games we've seen Illinois play here at Byrd Arena. They have a number of guys who can score goals, and that's certainly been evident in tonight's game.
And Novosel lost the draw to the Bobcats. Played out to Elmore over the Illini blue line. And there is number 5 for Illinois, Joey Caprio. He takes the feed on the dump in and sends it over to the boards on the other side. Jared Elmore, low for Ohio. Frank there as well. All 3 forwards on the same side for the Bobcats. Elmore trying to wrap it around and almost buries it. Another save by Barnhart. A series of unbelievable stops for the Illini netminder. He loses his twig in the net. And Houston is bowled over by Novosel. No penalty on the play. Lampron not happy with himself as he heads to the bench. Bobcats get a couple new guys on the ice here. Thurnell and Evangelisti join Houston and Black. And Evangelisti is impeded in his way through the neutral zone. Illinois strips him of the puck. Joe Nolan has it.
Tough break for Ohio there in that last shift. So close they could taste it. The goal, easily the best chance for either team this period.
Great effort there by Thurnell, keeping the puck in at the top of the zone. Illinois does finally get it over. Grant Stuve tried to work his way around Cody Black, and he was unsuccessful. Black out to neutral territory again. Gets to the red line and no further. Picked up by Mike Palasic. He finds Evangelisti streaking down the left side. Shot, and he buries it! Oh my goodness, Gianni Evangelisti picks Jake Barnhart's pocket. I cannot believe that shot went in like it did. What a beauty by Gianni, and he gets off the schneid and gives his team a huge break here as they cut the deficit to 1.
That was an absolutely ridiculous shot. That's what we've come to expect out of Gianni Evangelisti. Finds his name back on the goal sheet. His 15th of the season. What a snipe. How much skill does number 7 have? Wow. Unbelievable.
Wow is right. We saw Ernsting do it earlier in the second period with 9 seconds left. Gianni Evangelisti trying to upstage him there as he absolutely snipes Jake Barnhart. And that gets the crowd going and gets this team feeling good about themselves once again. Only down 1 here with 6:40 remaining in the contest. And they have life once more.
It's exactly what they needed. They were so close, really needed to get rewarded for their play this period. They possessed the puck nearly the entire time, other than a few defensive lapses.
That puck bounces hard off the ice, over the goal line in the Illini end, and we'll get an ice.
6:24 remaining in this game. Time certainly becoming a factor. You got to think if Ohio's down with a minute or 2 left, that they're going to pull the goalie. Elect to send out the extra skater.
And an unassisted goal for Gianni Evangelisti cuts the lead to 1 for the Illini. They have the puck in the offensive zone here. Tommy Kolas shot blocked by Brian Lubin. And that one over the head of Ernsting to the stick of Tyler Harkins. He has a man in Rudin. An open was Rudin, but he could not take the feed from Harkins. Ernsting has it now and over the red line into the Bobcats zone. Luke Forfar takes it on the backhand, and is tied up with Houston. And number 11, Jake Houston, is able to knock the puck off of his stick. It comes to the crease of Jimmy Thomas, who falls on it for the save. 32-31 shot advantage for the Bobcats. A tight contest here at Bird Arena. Kind of what we were expecting here, although it really hasn't taken the route we thought it would.
Yeah, you can see it's been a tight contest to get back to that last shift. What an incredible pass by Tyler Harkins to find Rudin on the other side of the ice. I'm not sure how he managed to get that puck all the way across the ice.
Kyle Craddock, Lampron, and Elmore are out here for Coach Hogan. Bayard and Fael on the back end. Quinn, Novacell, number 17, John Moskaluk. Counter for the Illini. Back for Illinois on the blue line, Joey Rittendale, the captain, and Joe Nord. 1 goal lead here as we approach the 5-minute mark remaining in the third period. Shot there by Lampron, and that one kicks back out to number 23 stick. Elmore finds it at his blade, down low. Bayard threw that puck on, and that one kicks out to the side of the netting and is tossed into the stands by Novacell for the whistle.
Yeah, Illinois just trying to get the puck out. It goes up into the stands. Back to that last shift, a puck almost deflected into the back of the net off the stick of Bayard. Everyone here thought it was a goal, but just into the side of the net. You get the sense that if Ohio's unable to get one, it's going to be just because they ran out of time. They're swarming the net, really controlling the third period here, Shane. They've gotten much better after the second period.
They peppered Barnhart for 11 shots here in the final stanza. Gianni Evangelisti put one of them in the net. Ohio, if they can get one more, will tie this hockey game up. Late in the third period, Cody Black able to get it to Crandall. Crandall walks it in low, turns the other way with it, and takes it back to Black. Shot by Black. Bounces around behind the net. Frank has it. Low circle on the left side as Frank gets it to Jenkins. Jenkins and Black converge near the top of the zone. Miscommunication for the Bobcats. They'll have to retreat. Jake Houston pressured by McGinn. Houston doesn't worry about it, keeps moving forward. Number 11 shot off the side of Barnhart. And we're going to get a whistle here. Barnhart took a puck off the mask and his helmet snapped loose. We'll have to fix that.
Right in the head from Jake Houston.
What a skill play from Houston to travel the full 200 feet of the ice all the way from the other end to right in front of Jake Barnhart. Took the Evangelisti approach, shot it from a bad angle. Nearly worked too, Shane.
Barnhart fixes his bucket. The face-off now out to the right-hand side of the netminder for the Illini. Evangelisti and his first-line cohorts out here for the Bobcats. And for the Illini, Kellner and Richter. And number 9, Chance Omerin. Up top. Under 4 minutes to play here. Ohio still down 1 as they look to tie this contest up and send it to overtime. Or get the W before that happens. We'll see what happens over the final 240 seconds or so.
Go, boys, let's go!
Time definitely becoming a factor here for Ohio, like you mentioned. We'll just keep an eye on Jimmy Thomas as this game draws closer and closer to an end.
And if you're Coach Hogan, at what point do you consider pulling him should you be down heading into the last 2 minutes or so?
Yeah, he's certainly going to consider it.
Houston back to Hazel in the own end. Over to Hazel once more, and he will carry it for Ohio. Shovels it to Evangelisti, backhanded to the slot for Hazel. The two cannot connect. Good play by Ken Doughty to knock Evangelisti off the puck. Ernsting bangs it off the boards, trying to get it out. Good keep initially by Houston. Kolas pushes him over. The puck skates free to the Illini. They take it in. And that is Ernsting, who is sandwiched by Harkins and Evangelisti. 4 far in relief for the Illini. And they're doing their best to chew up some tick here. As 2:30 remains in the contest. Captain Joey Rittendale up ahead for Ernsting, who swats it in behind Thomas.
I can't blame Illinois for trying to just play the prevent defenses. Sean Baird takes a fall there on the ice. Ice conditions definitely becoming a factor. This is the second game we've seen on the ice today, and the third in less than 24 hours.
And after that first game, we noticed how bad it was down by both goal creases. Very wet ice.
Yeah.
2 minutes even on the clock. Jimmy Thomas with a big save there. Ohio needs to remain even-keeled here and make sure they don't take any stupid penalties. Down 1 goal with just 2 minutes to play.
Yeah, they cannot afford to do that. Really got to start winning these face-offs too. These face-offs are absolutely important, the most critical ones of the season, if you will. It's like Ohio's going to elect to take their 60-second timeout, draw something up here. It'll be interesting to see what centerman they go with on the ice. Brian Lubin was on the ice. For this shift, we'll see if they stay with Lubin. Would not surprise me if Evangelesti was on the ice either, but I'd say it's a pretty safe bet that Lubin or Evangelesti is going to be the one taking the face-off for Ohio.
And it's showtime if you are Coach Hogan and the Cats. This is what you have played so hard for all season long. You got to leave it all out here on the ice, fighting for your playoff lives. Illinois, give them credit, has done a great job here tonight, stymieing the Bobcats. Ohio's still able to find the back of the net 4 times, but they haven't had the type of game that they wanted to have. 5 goals in the second for the Orange and Navy. A 2-goal lead heading into the third. Evangelisti with an absolute snipe to cut that lead in half, but Ohio still has some work to do.
It appears Evangelisti will be the one taking this face-off for Ohio, the oh-so-critical face-off. It's going to be Houston, Fila, Plasix, and Tyler Harkins with, assuredly, when Ohio controls the puck and establishes themselves in the zone, Jimmy Thomas coming off for a 6th skater.
Countering the Bobcats is number 7, Stephen Quinn, Neil Novosel, and Moskaluk. Evangelisti with the puck at his feet, and he speeds through the neutral zone, bangs it off the boards, and follows his own pass into the Illini end. That one off the shoulder of Fiala, batted by Plasix, and no worries there for Ohio as they were able to recollect it. Evangelisti has it again. Thomas out of the net. Ohio with the extra skater on the ice. Illinois will try to get it down into the empty cage. Ohio right now with the extra man will try to keep it pinned down Barnhart's way. Another shot there, one-timer by Hazel. Great kick save by Barnhart. 1:12 remaining, and Harkins has an opportunity down low. That one skirts free. And we're going to get an icing here. 1:05 on the clock. And what's going on here?
Referee's trying to figure something out. And Illinois is looking for a line change. Ohio, of course, gets the last change, being the home team.
Trying to pull a fast one was Coach Fabrini, getting his tired men off the ice as they ice the puck. And they're going to have to call a timeout here to catch their breaths. The most important minute of Ohio's season here ahead of them.
Gianni Evangelisti took that last face-off. He's on the ice for the time being. We'll see if he takes this next one. Fatigue certainly going to become a factor here for Ohio. It was for Jake Fila on that last shift. He's still on the ice as of right now. Hazel shifts to the bench. Looks like Cody Black's going to be taking this shift defensively for Ohio with Jake Houston, and Fila is going to stay out there. He skated towards the bench initially, but he's going to stay out there.
Craddock on the ice, along with the rest of the Bobcats that were featured during the last whistle. He took the face off. The only change is Craddock subbing out Mike Plasix. This place is starting to get loud here. Fans trying to give the Bobcats an extra jolt. And you can kind of feel it running through your body here. Hopefully, Ohio can get some energy from that.
Ohio's banking on winning that face-off. Only one guy back at the point. That's what
Houston
happens.
chunks that puck Illinois bangs it back in deep. 50 seconds and counting for Ohio. They need a push, and they need a push fast. That is Houston skating it over the red line and banging it in. Opilka off the boards. Hazel has it. Up top for Houston. Off of Craddock, back to Hazel's stick. Number 3. Sends it to Harkins. Shot blocked by Opilka. He has it at his blade and gets it out. Forfar is tripped up by Houston, and a great play by number 11. Clean, no penalty for Houston. What an effort by Houston. And Ohio with 15 seconds remaining here, and that is probably going to do it. As Houston is out of gas. Forfar gets to it. 7 and counting. Penalty administered to the Bobcats. Jake Houston with 5 seconds left. That looks to be about it.
Yeah, that should just about do it. Houston hauling his man down in a last-minute desperation attempt to stop that game. 5.2 seconds left for Ohio. And to be quite honest, they're going to need a miracle to score this final goal, force overtime.
I guess potentially if there's one saving grace is that we've had a precedent of a goal being scored with under a second left. Tyler Harkins did beat Lindenwood with 0.1 seconds left earlier in the season, but that was a different look, a different situation. At this point, it's going to take a miracle.
Yeah, it certainly is. Illinois, just in the prevent defense, they win this faceoff, and that will do it.
Ohio falls on home ice to the Illini of Illinois and bows out of the CSCHL tournament, looking for its first title since 2013. They can't get the job done here tonight in front of the Bobcat faithful.
No, unfortunate. That second period really did get away from them. A couple of unfortunate bounces, a couple for Ohio, a couple for Illinois, but ultimately 5 goals in the second period. Ohio came back, dominated this period at times, got that goal, really had some good opportunities with the man advantage, pulled the goalie in the end, but ultimately couldn't get it done, lost a couple of key faceoffs down the stretch, but they will now look onto ACHA Nationals to play the winner of Drexel and UNLV.
Just a really sour end to the season for the Bobcats in the CSCHL tournament. Obviously, they still have a few games ahead of them, but definitely not the way they wanted this one to go this weekend. You got to give credit to Illinois.
Yeah.
They stayed hungry the entire contest. They kept the pedal to the metal even when they got into hairy situations. They didn't let it get the best of them. Nick Fabrini and his squad looks very good tonight, and it's going to be a great game tomorrow against Lindenwood for sure. But obviously, for all the Bobcat fans watching at home, for everybody here at Bird Arena, this was not the result that people wanted, and it's certainly going to leave a mark for Coach Hogan and his club.
Yeah, ultimately it's a sour end, like you mentioned, but it is not the end. Ohio still with a really good chance, a very favorable draw in the ACHA tournament. Frustrating loss, nonetheless. Jimmy Thomas, played his tail off, got a couple of breaks. What a goal there by Evangelisti there in the third period to somehow sneak that by Jake Barnhart. Really ridiculous stuff. But for now, this was really it for Crandall, Viola, and Mike Polasic. Their last game here on Bird Arena ice. It's got to feel strange for those guys.
I'm sure they'll take some time to reflect later, and it's gotta definitely be painful, I'm sure. I mean, having played hockey in the past, I know what final games feel like, and you know what, you're gonna have a moment later on where it'll really hit you. But it's a tough one here. Final game here on home ice for those seniors, not the result they wanted. 5-4 final for Illinois. Shots 34-32 in favor of the Bobcats, but they could not find the equalizer when it mattered, folks. We'll run you through the scoring really quick to lead things off for Ohio. Timmy Thornell started the action just 4:19 into the game, got his 12th goal of the season, assisted by Polasic, and Houston gave Ohio the 1-0 lead. Chance Tomrin buried the pass and tied the game up for the Illini. Joey Rittendale with his 9th extended their lead to 2-1. Garrett Jenkins was given credit for the goal off the Illinois turnover down low by Barnhart. Tie hockey game there. Lampron and Frank got the assists. Luke Forfar regained the lead for the Illini 3-2. Opilka with the apple on that. Craddock had his 3rd of the season, his first in a while, to tie the game up at 3. And then there was 2 quick ones near the end of the second period. Stephen Quinn and Robert Ernsting to give Illinois the advantage heading into the 3rd. Evangelisti with a great snipe but he could not do it all himself. And Ohio fails to get any ground here tonight against the Illini, falling 5-4. So there you have it, folks. Not the result you wanted if you are a Bobcat fan. If you're an Illini fan, though, you're very happy about this effort here tonight, and you're looking forward to the game tomorrow against the Lindenwood Lions. Certainly, like you said, going to be a great contest. And if Barnhart plays the way he did against the Bobcats at times tonight, it's going to be a tough one again. We'll see whether Hales gets back in net or whether CDOT gets the start for Lindenwood and Coach Zombo. But we'll have the call again for you here on AVW Presents Hockey tomorrow. 2 o'clock start. We'll be on around 1:30 or so for the pregame. Get you guys set for that matchup. But for all you Bobcats fans, March 9th, I believe it is, ACHA National Tournament kicks off. They either play Drexel or UNLV. We'll wait to see who they draw, but that's it, folks. So from everybody here at AVW, it has been a great season. Can't believe it's all over. You talk about final events. This is my final broadcast here at Bird Arena as well. Going to be graduating in May. Had the pleasure to do this the last 3 years. It's been probably my favorite part about being a Bobcat, being an Ohio University student. It's certainly going to hurt a little bit for me as well. I've really enjoyed doing this. I really enjoyed all the support from everybody back home, all of the thankful wishes, all the nice comments left. We do our best to broadcast for everybody who doesn't get a chance to make it out to Athens every single weekend, and we certainly hope that we did a decent job for you guys. We tried our best. We always experienced some hiccups, but we kept moving forward, and we kept the nose to the grindstone just like the team. So thank you guys so much. For everybody watching at home, we do appreciate it. For all my producers, for everybody running cameras, for everybody who is involved in even a minor way in our production, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of Ethan's heart, we cannot thank you enough. It's really been a great ride. That's all, folks. For Ethan Graham, I'm Shane Dazen. This is Ohio Bobcats Hockey on AVW.